everybody, and welcome to another presentation of ECL Elite Season 10. We are back again with a few more games to cover for you this evening, this afternoon, wherever you may be watching. My name is Tuki, joined as always by my broadcast partner, Sin. A little bit of a sleepy Sin today, but Sin, how are you feeling at the moment?
You know, I'm feeling good. A solid game of sixes between two very competitive teams is always the wake-up call that I need.
Fair enough. Again, today, a very interesting series to follow. We're following hReds and their return. A little bit more on that in a moment, but the first series against KOVA esports as well. Very excited to see how this one plays out. We do, of course, thank you very much for joining us. Now, Sin, yesterday we were able to cover the start of this brand new season and the 10th season of the ECL in the Elite Division. These teams battling for the largest prize pool in esports history. Very excited to see how this goes down. Let's take a look at the two teams that we are focusing on here in this first matchup of the day. Again, a home-and-home series between KOVA esports and hReds. Sin, a rivalry amongst two of the premier Finnish esports organizations. It comes to the ECL. We are in store for two very exciting games here.
Oh, definitely. I mean, both of these organizations, have their hands in some of the larger, esports titles out there, including Fortnite, Rainbow Six, etc. Now in the mix for NHL, and new faces, of course, but plenty of excitement to come.
Indeed, there has been quite a shuffle. We witnessed it yesterday in games between Yip and Unlucky Boys HC. That continues to be the trend here. Breaking down the hReds lineup on the left side of your screen, we start off with, again, a combination of different teams. You have Yuki on the left, Sin. You'll be able to tell us more about these players in a moment. Benito down the middle, Nicky Dangles on the right. Might be calling him Dangles a little bit because, of course, we have Nicky in goal as well. But also Yanza and Temu back on defense. And again, this is a mix of teams from Delusion. You have players from Butterfly Effect last year as well. And the main story of that, Sin, would just be kind of the return of a powerhouse in hReds.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, they haven't been here since season 8, I believe it was, or at least a few seasons ago. And I mean, combining it to the roster of Delusion, who pretty much walked through Pro Division in a lot of senses. I mean, they didn't lose in regulation. They had a competitive matchup in the finals, but Yuki coming from there, I mean, he was just on fire for that team. 117 points, second in the Pro Division all season. Benito, I mean, everyone in there was just fantastic, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they can bring in the elite side of things.
You'll continue to hear about the offensive dynamos throughout the hReds lineup. Again, as Sin mentioned, a very competitive team, 29 wins out of 30 through the Pro Division regular season last year, won the championship, beating Vesapapa HC, who also earned their way into the elite tier this year. They've been competitive in the IS Cup and a LAN event. They, finished in second place behind Havu Gaming, who made it all the way to the final of ECL Season 9 last year. And again, boys, sorry to bring that up. Yet again, 2 streams in a row. I'm sure the Havu boys aren't very happy to hear about that. A quick little breakdown as well, though, quickly. Just taking a quick look at the KOVA lineup as well. Zip player, the key, the main man to this team, Picard, Valexets as well, of course, Fakiri and Savanainen on defense. And Monkey had a lot of interesting players to talk about, but the main thing to point out here, newly under the KOVA banner. This team has technically existed and been around in some way, shape, or form since ECL Season 3. And again, a bunch of different players that were on different teams last year. The former Miracle, Almost Famous, Ghetto Firebirds, who do still exist, all represented here. Most of them with experience through the elite tiers, although on middle to lower level teams. Now, Sin, as we get to the individual breakdowns, the matchups here, we'll really be able to get more into the minutia of what makes these teams. And we start off, perhaps most importantly, with the center matchup between Benito and Picard's. What stands out for you here? Who has the edge?
Well, for me, I always like to view the centers as pretty much the jack of all trades within their teams. You know, you got to do so much offensively, defensively. You got to win those important faceoffs. So that's what I really will look at. And we know what Benito can do. He is an offensive dynamo, but he's great at getting back and, you know, defensively in the faceoff circle. He's pretty good. I think Picard's, while he played in Elite last year, it was on Almost Famous, who did, you know, they did pretty good, but I think he's got his work cut out for him against Benito. They have pretty similar numbers right now throughout the course of this season thus far. I mean, small sample size, of course, but I'm excited to see these two guys go head to head.
I think the key here, Benito thus far living up to the hype from playing in the second tier of the Pro Division. So far, so good as he finds his way into Elite this season. Moving over to the winger matchup. Now, again, Sin, there is a lot of talent here, of course, but as we talked about, you know, these are teams, new players, new faces, looking to find their footing, but so far, so good as the point totals indicate.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, both of these guys, I mean, they can put up points, they can do just about anything, and it's really interesting to see, especially on the side of hReds, just their transition. I mean, Dangles was the one in Elite last year, but I mean, it doesn't seem to be much of a transitional issue from Delusion. The way they performed last year it's been, I mean, they've pretty much adjusted to the new competition in a huge way. And on the other side, when it comes to KOVA, I mean, kind of what you expect out of your wingers, putting up points, 5 goals for Veluxit. That's who I'm going to, you know, want to be looking at. Is he going to be able to continue that goal scoring prowess?
Nicky Dangles, third in Elite last year in points, 70 points in 30 games. Again, you talk about that hReds lineup offense is the theme amongst those forwards. Although I do want to point out Zip Player, again, as I talked about, kind of the main man behind this team. Interesting to note, ton of hits, 145 hits in 30 games played, 16 penalty minutes though. So he does a great job of being able to stay out of the box. We will get to the defensive matchups in a moment. The good thing is we are just about ready to go. We're going to skip ahead to the goaltending matchup because, Sin, it is an interesting one. Perhaps a bit of a slow start for Nick A between the pipes, but again, an interesting story here between these two goaltenders.
Definitely. Monkeyhead hasn't actually played goalie since the IS Cup and ECL 8, which was 2 seasons ago. And he was actually playing defense in the light division in the last season. So going to be kind of an interesting transition. Will there be some rust right there? He's seeming to do good so far. Good save percentage, good goals against, has a shutout under his belt. But going up against a team like hReds, I mean, it is going to be a big test for him.
Monkeyhead, as you mentioned, having not played goalie in at least a season break throughout season 9. Last time he played, 4th tier, played as a defenseman. So very interesting to see how that's going to play out. But as you mentioned, so far so good. 2 games, 81 save percentage. It's not exactly a fluke. We are going to have time to get over to the defensive matchup as well. And I think what stands out here has to be the physical play that we're expected to see from KOVA, particularly with Fakiri, who at least last season, Sin, extremely physical, doesn't even really begin to sum it up.
No, that is actually an insane amount of hits throughout 30 games played. 243. I mean, I don't even... The average, that's almost an average of 10 hits a game. That is incredible. So look for him to be holding the blue line, maybe being a bit aggressive on both sides of it, looking for the pinches, creating a hit to force a turnover, and on the back end. But the flip side of that, if he misses that hit, he could take himself out of position. So he's going to have to be careful with it.
Absolutely. Another good thing against him. We are just about ready to go. Again, the first matchup of 2 coming up between KOVA Esports and hReds. You got to look at the standings thus far. Again, yesterday, the beginning of this season, today being day 2. And so far, I mean, we covered Yip yesterday, number 1 on the board through 4 games. Of course, we saw them go to overtime in 3 out of their 4 games, yet they walked away undefeated. The team that stands out for me, it's Lin Chipping, the defending champions. We'll have more about them later on because hReds' second series of the night, of the day, is going to be against Lin Chipping. But Sin, anybody stand out for you thus far? I mean, for me, it's Lin Chipping and Havu, the matchup from the finals last year, currently towards the top half of the bracket on the left-hand side.
Yeah, I think you have to, you have to watch for those, the teams that were on the top last year. And very interesting to me is also to taking a look at some of the new people in here, especially Vesapampa. Probably not the start that they wanted, but they got that hunger to them. It's been mentioned many times before. That is a hungry team. So excited to see how they do. And some of the people that we consider maybe on the top or should be on the top, maybe a bit slower starts. Maybe there might be a bit more parity this year in Elite and a lot more competition.
That could indeed be the case. While we have time, let's take a look thus far at some of the top players in the league. And I want to take a look at the goaltending because, again, the goaltending is a key matchup for us thus far. And you pointed out Monkeyhead for the fact that, again, it's been a while since he's played in goal. It's been a while since he's played in general. Last time he played, it was as a defenseman. So a very interesting player to watch through, not just the early stages of the season, Sim, but I'm sure throughout the season. It's going to be a big story as to, the success that KOVA esports have. We saw it yesterday. You had a goaltender stepping up from a backup to being a starter in Elite. And now you have a situation where it's someone, is there anyone who has more to prove than Monkeyhead in goal this year?
Pretty much no, unless we see someone coming in as a late sub, but that's not going to be the case at this point. He is pretty much the guy to watch out for, especially going up against a team as good as what hReds looks like. He has his work cut out for him. How offensive hReds is. Will he be able to hold down the fort back there, especially combined with, his defensive pairing as well? They're got to have to work together to really limit the chances and the scoring of hReds, because if they start to run away with it, it could get ugly.
It very well could. Again, not exactly a slack on the other side is Nikkei. Of course, again, you're going to be intrigued to see how well he can do. In terms of goaltenders in the Pro Division last season, he was the best by every metric. So I'm very intrigued to see what he's going to be able to do. As we get a look so far at the top 10 skaters through the early stages of this season, the main man to point out here, it's got to be Nicky Dangles, of course. We might be talking about some of the other forwards when we come to that matchup against Lin Chipping. But again, Nicky Dangles, probably call him Dangles just because of the double Nicky connection that you happen to see with hReds. But very intrigued to see what he can do. And again, Sin, as we pointed out, played in the Elite Division last year, one of two to do so for this hReds lineup.
Yeah, and definitely seems to be a good at setting up. He had 26 goals, 44 assists last year, 6 assists throughout 2 games this year, and it's looking like Yuki and Benito are really going to be benefiting from how well he's able to see the ice and set up his teammates, make those smart passes. And 70 points last year was good enough for 3rd in the Elite Division. So, that is pretty big.
That it is, Sin. We are just about ready to go here for our first matchup. Excited to see how this goes down. As always, I want to put you on the hot seat. Our unnamed expert said this is going to be an easy 2-0 sweep for hReds. Do you concur?
Well, I think it all depends on how well KOVA can limit hReds offense. I really think the offensive powerhouse of hReds is just going to be on display. And with the question mark between the pipes, how ready is Monkeyhead for facing this sort of team? So yeah, I might have to agree with the expert. I'm really seeing hReds be able to take a 2-0. Maybe KOVA can pull off an upset, though.
We shall find out. Early chance early on for KOVA in the black, of course. Up against hReds in the white. The opportunity here. Puck recovered around the back of the net. Savanainen taking his time. Let's see what he's able to do here. Tries to work it out. Again, so often throughout the opening is a dump in by Veluxit here. Chased down by Picards. And he is able to recover. Fakiri, slap shot on, blocked. Recovered again by Picard. Shot on, and a glove save from Nikkei. Tested early on, but he is able to make the save. Again, Sim, we see it so frequently. The trap game really being prevalent through the early stages, and we'll see again if that is the case. As a quick turnover here, Veluxit with the puck. And we're trying to make the best of this here, but we are good to go. Savanainen, the one-timer, blocked down in front. Very dangerous opportunity there. As, again, early on, KOVA getting these opportunities. See what happens here. Is the player able to dump it back in around the back of the net? A little bit of body contact for Kiri, trying to hold it in. As, again, right now, KOVA in possession. Yuki on the counterattack, though. hReds quickly developing this opportunity. As, some technical difficulties here on the backside. We'll be honest. Trying to make the best of it. Trying to do what we can do here through the early stages of this game. Again, the first game of 2 that we have. As the puck is covered by Nike. So, Sin, early on, through some technical difficulties that we're trying to work through, right? We're going to try to make the best of this here as we can. You never know how things are going to go. But, again, with this matchup, and as far as how things are going to play out, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes through the early stages. It's all we can really look to do. We are back here again, trying to make the best of it. Sin, what's standing out for you right now?
Well, as I'm trying to get through what's going on right here, I mean, the slow start, we always expect to see the trap early on. However, I mean, it seems like KOVA's doing a decent job thus far of being able to limit hReds' opportunities as we cut back here, trying to figure out what is going on here. We apologize to the viewers. What is that?
Like unmuting your mic, that helps too on occasion. You never quite know when that's going to happen. But yeah, you're good to go. There was a sneeze guard there for the moment. Now we're trying to make the best of it. Sin, you never know. You woke up today, and you might have had a feeling that today might just be one of those days. And so far,
seems like it is.
so far, it might indeed be one of those days. It's often tough to tell how things are going to play out. But, again, we're going to make the best of it. We're going to roll with the punches and do our best to cover for some technical issues on the backside of things. At least as well as we can. But I promise you, the action's hot. It's going to be heavy because we have 2 very physical teams.
Definitely.
And we're going to see how this is going to play out ultimately. But yeah, Sin. All in all, did I ever get an official prediction from you? I don't recall.
Yeah, I said I think hReds, I was agreeing with our unnamed expert out there. I think hReds could definitely take a 2-0 here, or at least get off to an early start, but it looks like we may have to take a bit of a break here.
Unfortunately.
Try to figure out these tech issues, because we
are going to have to throw it a break.
Bad.
Stick with us, I implore you, and we'll be back very, very soon once we figure out what is going on the gameplay side of things. And we are back. How about that? It took a bit, an entire game. There is no stress here whatsoever. I assure you, I am as happy as can be. Sen, how are you feeling right about now?
Well, it's definitely an interesting way to start the day, and once again, we do apologize for our viewers out there, but we're very happy that you guys are sticking around with us. I mean, it is huge. We're giving you one more look at the lineups here, and we wish we were able to show you more of that game, or any of it, really, because it was a pretty tight matchup, despite hReds coming away with the victory. So we're hoping everything goes swimmingly here for game number 2.
That's all you can really do, is hope for the best, right? Again, the final of the first game that we were unfortunately not able to cover for you. Again, unsure if it was difficulties on the Twitch side of things or whatnot. hReds beating KOVA Esports by the score of 2-1 in a fairly close game on the scoreboard. hReds doing well in terms of controlling the puck possession for the majority of that game. So as expected, hReds, as you see on the left, picking up the victory. And we hope again to be covering the second game of this home and home series for you in just a matter of moments' time. We'll ultimately tell right now, unfortunately. I wish I could say, buckle up, we got this for sure. But in the, in the interest of fairness, full transparency, we're going to have to wait and see if anything pops up. Unfortunately, we will try to cover the game for you, though, as best as we can. And again, as Sin mentioned, we do thank you very much for joining us. Of course, there is a lot to talk about with the lineup with these two teams as far as, again, what to expect with them as we get ready to see how things are going to play out in the second game, or at least we hope. Sin, surprised that hReds walked away with the victory in game one. Again, our unnamed expert predicted a 2-0 sweep for hReds this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that they came away with the win. I am a bit surprised that they only scored 2 goals. We brought up that monkey head, maybe a bit rusty on the goaltending side of things, but to limit a team with the amount of offense that hReds has to 2 goals is pretty good. That's giving your team a chance to win. Unfortunately, Nikke for hReds was just as good between the pipes, securing his team the W. So KOVA going to have to try to get a bit more offense here in game 2 to be able to match hReds.
Again, Nikke for hReds, one of the top goaltenders throughout the entire ECL division system, was the top goaltender in Pro last season. So no real surprise to see that he did as well. Again, as we discussed, Monkey had a return to goal for him this year. Hasn't played goalie since ECL 8, and that was in our 4th tier, the light division. So it has been a while. Last season, he played as a defenseman in that 4th tier in the light division for a club by the name of Sack Brothers. So interesting at the very least. Now, again, comes away with a loss in that game, but ultimately, as you mentioned, Sin, holding a very high-powered offense to just 2 goals. And I suppose, again, credit goes to the defense in front of him as well. Again, with the defenders that we talk about for KOVA, Fakiri and Savanainen, both a little bit more defensive, I would say, in their setup. We talked about it a lot with Fakiri, extremely physical. As we said, 243 hits in 30 games last year in the elite division. But fair play to the hReds side of things, having shut a team down. Again, there is offensive firepower on the far side, mainly with Veluxit. Of course, we'll get into the winger matchup in a moment. But for those two, with Janzu and Teemu, very, very solid job, again, holding a team to 1 goal. So again, Sin, as we talked about the winger matchup, hReds really do stand out for the offensive firepower that they possess.
Oh, clearly. I mean, they just seem like they could fly up and down the ice, and when they're able to dictate play and put those kind of points up, I mean, there is just almost seeming like there's no stopping them unless you're, an incredibly elite team. And KOVA, in some ways, a bit unproven thus far. They look like they could be good, but they're getting their first test here against a team like hReds, and so far, hReds coming out on the better side.
Absolutely. Again, as we are setting the stage, getting ready for what we hope will be the second game of this home and home series. Time will ultimately tell, though, whether or not we are able to present to you that game, although we certainly hope. And again, we thank you very much for holding on with us as we journey through these rough waters known as life without a spectator mode in NHL. But, we do what we can. The good thing is, as you can see, it looks like we may, in fact, be good to go. Sin, are you ready?
I am ready. I've been ready, and hopefully this time we will be able to deliver for all you gorgeous viewers out there.
One can only hope. No better way to butter up an audience than by, going to the looks department. Let's see how this plays out. We are ready to go. We are underway, and we'll see how this ultimately plays out. Quick D-to-D work. Another shot in front, and a big save early on there. Gigantic opportunity. Shot directly in front of goal. The big save by Nikke. Starting things off on a high note. Again, KOVA in the black, or in the white, I should say. hReds in the black. The home team for this game. You have Teemu in possession, looking for a little bit of space. Drops back over for Janza, and the opportunity there ends up on net. Sam, we've witnessed it a lot. Some defensive struggles in terms of leading a breakout throughout this ECL season thus far in the early stages.
And it seems like teams trying to find some chemistry as we see KOVA attacking with a quick shot on net here, but it doesn't seem like we're seeing that neutral zone battle early on as both teams able to gain the zone.
The opportunity here. Puck now back down in the corner. Nikke Dangles in possession, gets it back in front. One-time bomb goes just wide, and it's recovered Savanainen, now Picard is in possession. Drops it back to his defenseman, looking to lead this breakout here. Again, still in the early stages. Perhaps a little bit more free-flowing than we're used to seeing in the early stages of a game in a division of this caliber. So often, the trap game and feeling out process really is the highlight. See how this plays out. Zip in possession. Looks to lead the way through. Turns it over. Yuki in possession. Pass across into the middle. Puck still loose. Does not find its way into the back of the net. Chopped around the back, though. And recovered by Fakiri. Savanainen getting those D-to-D passes, trying to generate space. Good bit of patience. Zip loses it down low in the corner to Teemu. The opportunity now again. Teemu back in possession. Looks to join the rush here. The defenseman stepping up. Cuts back with his winger joining the play. Quick D-to-D pass. Does not go. Puck kept in by Janzu. Opportunity again. Janzu still in possession. Tries to send it back down low. Intercepted well by Veluxit. And it is KOVA back in possession. So far, both teams trading chances. Still, though, a bit of a feeling out process in terms of that offensive possession opportunity here. The big cut in front, but the defense recovers. Yuki, a phenomenal chance again. Tore the Pro Division asunder. Now it's Zip player. Sends it back to the top. Fakiri has it. Tries to go across to Veluxit. Shot doesn't go through. hReds back in possession. Yuki sends it in. Maybe not intentionally with that high strength of a pass. Again, KOVA recovers. Looks to lead the breakout. Huge hit there by Janzu. No surprise to see him get physical. The defenseman on either side seeing them get physical. Again, now it is hReds in possession. They lose it around the back of the KOVA net. And they will ultimately recover.
Yeah, I'm liking both teams' games right there. I like how KOVA is kind of being a bit more aggressive, trying to limit hReds, and they're stepping up at all the blue lines, as we kind of expected they would on the defensive side of things, going for those hits. A bad pass right there, though, and hReds get the puck.
Back in possession around the back. Quick wraparound attempt from Benito. Just doesn't go through, but a scary moment there. Opportunity now. Veluxit has it. Back to the point. Savanainen shot on. Traffic in front finds its way back to the Fakiri. Another shot. That deflects wide into the corner and recovered by Janzu. Finds the pass out again now. Benito looking to lead the rush, but all 5 members of KOVA back and ready to defend. And 4 minutes left here in the first period of the second game. Again, hReds taking the first game 2-1 in regulation. The opportunity here. Yuki has it back down low. The wingers looking to connect. Back to the point. One-timer blocked down in front by Savanainen. And a Zip player in possession quickly loses it back. So many of those rush opportunities being cut out quickly by the hReds defense. Now again, looking to lead the way. Yuki, a little bit of space up the middle. Can't find his way through. Regains the puck. Shot on and stopped by Monkeyhead. The opportunity again, though, back to the point. Quick D passes. hReds really getting their defense involved. Shot on and a stop. Monkeyhead yet again. The closing moments of the first period. So.
Yeah, that shot found its way through. Unfortunately, didn't find the stick. I believe it was a player out front. I think it was Nikkei there looking for the deflection. Just couldn't get a stick on it.
Face-off looked to have been won by hReds, recovered by KOVA. Final 10 seconds of the period. hReds in possession. Benito, quick passes and offside with 4.9 remaining. Theoretically not enough time to do a little bit of damage to find the first goal of this game, but never say never. Benito and Picard's on the draw, won by Picard's, and that'll do it for the first period. Late shot and save by Monkeyhead. So early on, Sin hReds, we'll say with the advantage, you see the extra bit of time on attack for them, but shots are close, face-offs are close, and discipline, which we thought might also be a factor as well with how physical KOVA happened to be as a unit, not exactly a factor thus far.
No penalties. I mean, it was a pretty even period, and Monkeyhead really kind of proven himself. We always seem to have that happen. We question someone, will they be able to handle the pressure, and then they step up in a pretty big way, and that's what Monkeyhead's doing right there. Looks very calm in the crease, very collected, and making that first save, and allowing his defense and Fakiri and Savanainen, who are, pretty good stay-at-home and very good shutdown guys, to limit those second and third opportunities that if hReds starts to get, they can really take the game over.
Absolutely. Second period underway. hReds quickly in possession and on the attack. Benito looks to cut in front. Find a way to tuck it home. Fakiri in possession, looking for a bit of space, good bit of patience, finds Picard's, now quickly up to Zip player. Sends it around. Volux, it's there, he'll recover. Goes back down low again, Picard still in possession, brings it in front. The mad scramble, but hReds comes up with it yet again. Quickly turned over, Volux it back in possession. Quick pass, Zip player, the extra pass to Picard's, but defended extremely well by Yanzu on defense for hReds. Here comes the rush. Benito has Yuki over, drops it back, the quick give and go with Yanzu. Great bit of vision to find the defenseman joining the rush. But again, the play does not materialize. And now it's Nicky Dangles in possession. Finds Benito. Shot on. Scramble in front. Yuki there pressuring. The puck still loose. But Monkeyhead is able to find it. And gets the whistle.
Yeah, hReds really looking for those prime opportunities. That give and go on the one time was a great look from Benito to try to get set up there on the left side of a Monkeyhead. And those scrambles in front, man, I don't know if there's anything more nerve-wracking for a goalie when that puck is loose and bodies are flying all over the place, but he's handling it quite well here in the early going.
A little bit of a breakaway here for Picard's, not able to find the space. Was going to say as a goalie, all you can do is hold wire triangle and pray. But it worked out there. Picard's nearly finding the space for the breakaway, but the back pressure able to take away that chance. hReds back in the zone. Yuki has it down low, back in front for the one-timer. Puck still loose in the scramble. A secondary opportunity. Still doesn't find the back of the net. One-timer again from the point. Still fought on for in front. Yanzu has it. Tries to send it back down low. Intercepted by Picard's. And here comes KOVA. Opportunity for Zip player. Gets it back across the goal mouth. But Volux unable to find it. One-timer from the point now. And it deflects all the way out of play. And a furious pace here since the start this second period. Both teams getting opportunities.
Oh yeah, and KOVA's counterattack, they're getting into that zone very quickly. hReds is able to set up and get a bit more sustained pressure, but KOVA are getting some dangerous chances right now.
The opportunity is there for one of these two teams to grab the lead. Again, close game. First of two, the second game for you here. Again, hReds winning that 2-1. Opportunity here for Zip player. Loses it through the traffic. Recovered by Yanzu. Now again, it's Benito back there helping his defenseman. Able to find Yuki on the breakout pass, and he gets crushed by Savanainen. Big step-up play there. Not really all that surprising, although it is the left defenseman currently in possession. Fakiri, who we often see jump up. One of the most aggressive players in the ECL system. Currently in possession again. Finds its way up to Zip player. Loses it. Both teams right now struggling to hold on to the puck for that extra second that they need to find the space. Although, speaking of space, Benito, the self-pass, spin move, tries to get it back. Still in possession, Nicky Dangles. The opportunity, again, just not quite coming to fruition. But hReds back in possession. Tries to send it down low. Fakiri was there, now Zip player drops it back to his defense. Going to find that bit of space, dump and chase, mistimed. hReds gets a free possession.
Yeah, interesting there. KOVA recognized that they were likely not going to get that puck, not even for a chop, and they all dropped back. Now that is excellent split-second communication right there, because they know how dangerous hReds can be on the counterattack, and they do not want to give them a leg up of entering their zone, because once they get established, it is very hard to take the puck away from them.
Big face-off win for hReds. Both of these teams still looking for the opening goal to this game. Nicky Dangles unable to hold on to that one. Zip player tries the drop back pass again, as they so often have to do, just to get a little bit of space to breathe from this hReds forecheck. Big hit there. hReds though still in possession. Benito tries to find his way to Yuki. Doesn't happen, and here's Zip player again, but unable to maintain possession. So often, KOVA looking to find Zip player on those breakouts. Big move here. Big shot from the point. Puck still loose in front, and ultimately recovered that quickly, though. It's that puck movement and the willing to feed it to the defenseman from hReds that's really led to them controlling this game for the majority of it thus far, as we hit the final minute of play in the second period. And again, now it's hReds in possession. Benito leading the rush. Finds Yuki, bit of space, all-out effort from Monkeyhead to keep the opportunity from going in. Final 7 seconds here. KOVA on the attack. Fakiri, D to D. The shot doesn't get through. Secondary chance is cleared out by Teemu. And that'll do it. So a big moment there at the end of the second period. Monkeyhead having to go all out with the flying poke check to keep that puck out of the goal, but he does just that, as you get to see Fakiri, the highlight reel for physicality like that.
Yeah, and that hit right there that we're seeing on screen was great. The only problem is it didn't go quite the way he wanted it. The hit was great. He separated man from puck. However, hReds picked it up, and they had almost a bit of an odd man the other way, which led to Monkeyhead having to go a bit of desperation there on that flying poke check. So, Fakiri, a big playmaker in terms of having a physical game, but as we can see there, also dangerous. You can sort of create some odd mans against your own team and force one of those forwards to have to really hustle on the back check to defend. But as it stands, still 0-0. KOVA, maybe getting away with one right there, but they're still on even footing, even though hRed, as we can see, leading in shots and time on attack. But that hit differential is pretty massive for KOVA.
As we are just about ready to begin the third period of play. And thank you very much for joining us here to see how this one plays out. And the official drops the puck. We are underway in a face-off win for KOVA. We'll see if they can do anything with this opening possession as they quickly lose it. Sorry for jinxing you boys. They're back in possession, but there you see the forecheck from the wingers, Yuki and Nicky Dangles of hReds. Again, hReds in black, KOVA esports in white. The opportunity here for Zip Player. Tries to throw it back, not able to find any space, and again now hReds on the attack. Nicky Dangles brings it in, drops it back to his defense, now around the back of the KOVA goal. Quick passing play to get that bomb from the point from Yanzu, but it does not go through. And again, though, recovered by Benito, so strong defensively. Deflection bid for Nicky Dangles doesn't go through. KOVA still surviving, but unable to get the puck out of their own zone. Again, the D-to-D passes still there, but actually not that time. Yuki ends up getting it back down low. KOVA in possession, often leading the breakout through Zip Player on that left-hand side. And Sin struggling to find the space. We'll get to you in a moment, though, because here's Benito with the self-passes, trying to generate space. Gets it back for Yuki, unable to pull the trigger. Teemu, D-to-D passes, sends it down low. Fought for by Nicky Dangles, and recovered ultimately by Fakiri. And again, you see, hitting Zip Player, he is the main man on these breakouts.
Yeah, he is their smallest build, so he is that speed option there on the left side. They're gonna want to hit him. Sorry,
opportunity for Yuki not to interrupt you, Sim, but the cut-in doesn't go through. KOVA elects to drop it back just to maintain possession. Finish your point, sir, if you will.
Yeah, I'm just, it seems that KOVA is really favoring that speed option on the breakout. They're going to want to try to get around that hReds defense to try to get those odd man situations down low.
Unfortunately, with Teemu and Yanzu on the back end, not exactly happening thus far. Teemu with a direct matchup with Zip Player. Here's Benito, the opportunity cuts in, saved by Monkeyhead. No secondary opportunity, Sabanainen was there. Recovered now, Fakiri, not able to find the space. hReds right back on the attack. Benito tries the cut-in, defended well, but again now Nicky Dangles back in possession. Back to the point again, the D-to-D passes. hReds looking for space, they nearly found it there. Great bit of defense on the collapse. Big step up from Yanzo, and again in possession are hReds. Yuki looking for space, gets it down low to Benito. Puck ends up on goal. Monkeyhead, though, able to react and make the cover. Still looking for our first goal of this game. 7:45 remaining in regulation. The second game of two between these two teams. Again, hReds and KOVA esports. hReds in black took the first game by the score of 2-1 in regulation. Stick with us after the conclusion of this game, as we'll be following hReds into their two-game series against the defending champions, Lin Chipping. Excited to see how that goes, but for now they still have a lot to deal with here. A handful trying to break down this defense and unable to do so. Good block there by Zip Player on the opposite side, but again, the forecheck is relentless. Shot on, deflects, and again, still hReds all over them. Persistent pressure. Recovered by Teemu on the pinch-in. Tries to send it down low, defended well by Fakiri. Now it's Vluxit looking to lead the charge. Finds Zip Player, who gets crushed again. As soon as you mentioned that smaller build a factor. Pass in front, opportunity, another shot on. And Nikke, who has not been tested that much in this game, comes up with a save at a crucial time.
Yeah, big saves from Nikke. Sometimes it can be hard when you're not feeling as warmed up there, not getting as much action, but I did want to mention, KOVA esports, while... Oh, wait a sec. Good shot.
Shot goes wide. Continue your point, although with this scramble, you never know when a moment's going to pop up. Kept in, though. KOVA still battling. Sim will get back to you in a moment. when we have a chance. Picards has it back over. I believe a blocker save there. Not sure. Indeed, it was a blocker save. Couldn't tell where the puck went. Nick able to seal it off the post.
Yeah, unfortunately, Zip player not getting as much on that as he would have preferred. But yeah, KOVA's team play defense is very good. They're collapsing extremely well and really limiting hReds on the attack.
Turnover, Zip player in possession, takes the shot, save, loose puck. Nicky scrambling, but his defense able to bail him out. And speaking of Nicky, his Nicky Dangles brings it down low, turns it over. And again, KOVA in possession. Final minute of regulation. A slow final minute. Plenty of time for someone to take advantage. Zip player has it. Battling with Teemu. Recovered now. And then back to the point. Fakiri has it. Looks to take the shot. Poked away by Nicky Dangles. And the opportunity for hReds here with a burst of speed. Throws it back in front. Poked away. Recovered. Shot on by Benito. And a big save by Monkeyhead. Zip player forced to drop it back. Now again, over to his winger Veluxit, and hReds regain possession in the neutral zone. 28 seconds to go in regulation. Sin, we've called a lot of overtime games already, and we might be due for another one here. In possession, believe it's Teemu stepping in, tries to throw it in front, defended well by Fakiri. Now back to the point. hReds looking for the space, looking for the late winning goal. Back to the point, miscommunication between Benito and Teemu. One last rush. Yuki trying to get there. He cannot. And Sin, I don't know what it is about us, buddy, but we seemingly encourage overtimes. We have some extra hockey coming between these two, perhaps making up for the lack of coverage for that first game. Nicky getting the highlights, and rightfully so.
Yeah, we do seem to be becoming these close games / overtime magnets, although I don't believe we've had a 0-0 overtime thus far. Surprising to say the least, given hReds' potency on the offensive side of things, but I think that just speaks volumes to KOVA's adjustments and how they're really defending well as a team. We're seeing hReds try to look for the space, trying to penetrate, the middle of the ice, and they're just not able to do so. And really, I think that's kudos to KOVA for being able to shut them out, and Monkeyhead always making that first save. And as of right now, hReds, when they do recover the puck, they're rarely in a position to get another shot off, or if they are in one, it's not as optimal or something that they prefer, so they look to work that puck around once again. Maybe they're look to just kind of throw the puck on net a bit more here in the overtime, since they are getting the majority of the chances, majority of the time on attack.
As you kind of alluded towards, again, hReds very much looking forward, just outright looking for those high-quality chances and just waiting for that space to develop. Thus far, KOVA done a great job to be able to hold on, but can they sneak away with the win? Holding on sometimes just isn't enough, and only delays the inevitable. One-timer from the point. Deflects wide. Yanzu with the big slap shot there. Back in possession, still has it. Sends it down low to Yuki. The opportunity shot on for Benito doesn't go. Yuki back in possession down low, feeds the point. Will we see another quick shot here? Quick movement and a phenomenal save. Unbelievably fast movement from hReds, but it doesn't pay off. Monkeyhead doing well facing this level of adversity. Sent down low. Veluxit has it. Tries to send it back to the point, but again, hReds in possession. Veluxit steals it back, and again loses a big step-up hit there, but hReds still somehow in possession. Unbelievable effort there from KOVA esports, but not able to get it. Shot on. Saved by Monkeyhead. Nearly caught. Reacting a bit too late. This puck sent in by Zip player. Picards gives chase. Gets it back. Throws it in front. Mad scramble. Finds its way out to Yuki. Looks to lead the rush. Sends it back to his defense to settle things down and get a different look. Again, the puck played into the middle and intercepted well. Picards has it. Looks for the pass. Maybe takes the shot, and he does, but it doesn't get through. Yuki gets destroyed. 2-for-1 special there for Savinainen. And right now, KOVA back in possession. Can they make the most of it? Picard's over! Finds Veluxit! And KOVA esports have pulled off what some, if not many, would consider an upset. 1-0 victory in overtime. Spectacularly done, Sin. Veluxit wins the day.
Yeah, and he is their leading goal scorer so far, being that guy who always seems to be in the right place at the right time to bury it. And yeah, as you said, this has got to feel for KOVA like they stole a game right here, and a lot of credit has to go to Fakiri, Savinainen, and Monkeyhead. They held the fort down back there, and hReds, they got to feel a little bit a lot bummed out. I mean, that game was theirs. It was theirs to lose, and they ended up losing it overtime. But if you can get to that overtime, anything can happen. A quick strike right there, little tiniest bit of space for KOVA. They're able to capitalize.
Phenomenally done. KOVA walking away with the victory and a 1-1 split. Excellently done. Again, not to discredit that lineup, a good mix of elite experience, although towards the middle to low end range, but a lot to prove. Again, as you talk about, players that were, acquired from, Miracle, Almost Famous, and the Ghetto Firebirds, who also came up from pro with Veluxit, who scores the winning goal for his new team in overtime. So again, hReds taking the first game by the score of 2-1 in regulation. KOVA Esports, though, earning the 1-1 split as they were able to walk away with a, again, extremely rare and stunning 1-0 overtime victory. And Sin, we talked about him a lot before we get ready here to prep our second series. We do want to give a quick shout out, of course, to KOVA Esports for a highly entertaining game. And I think the key man, despite Veluxit scoring the winning goal, and again, we talked about Zip Player a lot, being kind of the main man, the defense being physical, all the credit in the world to Monkeyhead.
Yeah. What else can you say? I mean, we often call these people out who we doubt, I wouldn't say doubt, but we're questioning their experience level, questioning how they're going to step up in these sort of situations, and 2 goals allowed in 2 games played, I'd say is pretty good. Getting a shutout in the second game with that much time on attack and pressure from hReds, I think it's safe to say that he belongs right here in Elite, in between the pipes for KOVA Esports.
Absolutely. So again, a quick reminder, hReds taking the first game by the score of 2-1. KOVA Esports, a 1-0 overtime victory in game 2. We will be back, and after really just a quick short break, I promise, much shorter than the breaks from earlier, as we will continue to follow along with hReds. We'll see how they're able to bounce back from a loss here, as they have their own monumental challenge staring them down. It's the defending champions in Lin Chipping in action up next, right here very soon. We'll talk to you in a moment. And we are back. Sin, it's like we never even left. How you feeling after that first series, buddy?
I'm feeling great. I mean, that game was intense, as low scoring as it was. hReds were just really putting on a show right there. I'm excited to follow them through this the second series against the defending I almost said Stanley Cup champs, defending ECL champs in Lin Chipping.
Again, Lin Chipping, not only the champions for ECL Elite Season 9, also champions of the ESHL. Of course, we had coverage here on NHL Gamer for throughout that entire series as well. Friendly reminder, by the way, if you are watching us on Twitch right now, drop us a follow if you haven't already, to continue to follow along with everything ECL related and ACL related as well, the North American side of things, as we bring as much coverage of that league to you as we possibly can. Sin, you've been getting a look at the lineups. Of course, we've talked about the hReds lineup a lot, but then again, you have the defending champions in Lin Chipping. What stands out for you? Plenty of talking points to go over.
Yeah, a couple things stand out. Obviously, Eki, he is, kind of the anchor on the offensive side, possibly the most accomplished player on that team. But another thing to point out, Cape has a bit of a rough start so far this season, possibly not putting up the numbers that he's accustomed to or that he would want to. So definitely a slow start, maybe a bit of the old the championship rust on him as he's trying to get back into that mid-season form. But, well, we've seen him at the top of his game, and when he is, it is really something. So could be a nice duel between him and Nikke over there for hReds.
So often with goaltenders, though, especially with Lin Chipping, if you see a lower save percentage, you do have to wonder, is that the goaltender being off, or was that the defense in front of him? Lin Chipping last season allowed just 7.2 shots per game, which is incredibly low. But regardless of that lower save percentage for Cape thus far, 73.91% through the opening series against the Brace Phantoms, in which they won both games, again, might not be exactly where he wants it to be, But, with Lin Chipping, you do expect them to bounce back. They did pick up the wins. Playmaker and Eki coming off of 4 goals each. So, again, a tough road, a tough challenge for hReds here. We'll see if they are up to the task. As you get a look at the goaltending setup, Sin, tell us about the two and why Cape might be upset at that lower save percentage to start the season.
Well, I think part of it is their opponent was a Brace Phantoms, a team who wasn't involved with one of the promotion matches. So they're either going to be Pro Division or Elite Division. They managed to be in the Elite Division. But yeah, Cape, while they might have allowed some fewer shots, he does have a tendency to be able to make those big saves. You kind of expect him to almost have some of those, goal-saving saves. And it just seems like with his numbers, he might not have been able to accomplish that to, his desire. And, Nikke on the other side of things, I mean, that overtime goal, probably not what he wanted. And despite not being tested a whole lot, again, he made most of the saves when he needed to. So we're going to have to see if both of these goalies are going to be on their game. If Nikke can carry over his performance from the last series, and if Cape can, have a bit of a rebound, at least to his standards.
Absolutely. Again, Nikke, the top goaltender in the second tier, the Pro Division last season, led the way in every statistic with a 29-0-1 record. Cape, on the other hand, 23-2-1 through 26 games. 7 shutouts last year, second in the league, top 4 in save percentage. There is a reason why he was able to backstop the way. We're going to take a look at the defensive matchup as well, working our way from the goaltending out is Jay Toro and Loimu for the defending champions in Lin Chipping. Of course, we are familiar with Yanzu and Teemu, who might be playing with a little bit more confidence in after shutting out, or, after getting the win in that first game. They might be a little bit rattled, though. They did their job holding the opposing team to 1 goal. The team in front of them, though, couldn't get the offense. Is that going to be a source of frustration? Are they going to be rattled, or is it just, hey, business as usual? We did our job. We need the offense to step up a little bit.
Yeah, I think, again, I think they will hold themselves not so much responsible for not keeping the puck out of the net. That's a tough one to give up. If you only give up 1 goal in a game, you almost expect to win it. But yeah, I think on the offensive side of things, they would kind of include themselves in that conversation. Like, yeah, we need to help put the pucks in the net, because they were very active in the offensive zone. hReds loves to kick that puck back to the point, put those shots on net, or just look for those quick, back and forth one-time opportunities. But unfortunately, they got shut down in that one. We saw KOVA do a tremendous job collapsing here, and Lin Chipping very good on the defensive side as well. So hReds, that high-powered offense is really going to be tested once again. See if they're going to be able to get the goals here.
Absolutely. I think the key matchup here, Loimu, incredibly aggressive. He's going to be matching up, I do believe, with Yuki throughout this entire matchup, who is the main man on the wing for this hReds lineup. That brings us to the center matchup, though, first and foremost, because this is where it could ultimately be won, as we so often point out. Potzloff, 54% on the draw last year. One of the better centers in the league, not just in terms of the defensive play, but with the offensive side of things as well.
Yeah, and he is just your prototypical elite kind of center. I mean, he does so much well that you almost don't notice him at time, which is a bit of a discredit to him. I think, we may not talk about him with guys like Playmaker and Eki also up front on the wings, but he is such a dominant force right there, and kind of almost silently puts up these enormous point totals. I mean, 60 points is really good for him. And on the other side, Benito, I mean, we saw what he can do. He loves to do those kind of back and forth passes with the defenseman, loves to swing back on the breakout and gather some speed up the center of the ice. And I just think this is going to be a really good center matchup. But of course, we got to look for those key face-off wins in the offensive and defensive zones.
Absolutely. And speaking of key, that brings us to the key matchup here, really, as we get a look at the wingers in this series. And yeah, you want to talk about key to success, key to victory. Look no further than these 4 right here. Of course, for Lin Chipping, Sin, statistically, something stands out with Playmaker and Eki in terms of point totals from last season.
Oh, yeah, I believe Eki led the league, and then Playmaker was the second. So, I mean, I heard that's pretty good. I don't know, having 2 wingers who lead the league in point totals, I'm sure that's pretty decent to have on your team. But in all seriousness, I mean, they are a threat. And as I said earlier, when you have someone like Potzloff there in the middle too, that that line of forwards is a daunting to face, to say the least.
Absolutely. Again, not to say that Yuki and Nicky Dangles are slouches by any means, but they are certainly going to need to step their game up here and provide that offense. But again, you want to talk about Eki and the top skaters in this league. Eki is our featured player, of course. As you mentioned, led the league last year, 30 games played, 84 points. Just fantastic. I mean, there is a reason why he earned the hype that he has, that he had, and that he will continue to have. He is one of the featured players in this league. Very intrigued to see how it goes. Again, 8 points through his first 2 games of the season. Yesterday, of course, against Brace Phantoms, as we talked about. Sin, in terms of any other talking points, though, heading into this series, I mean, again, we've talked about the individual matchups, the experience thus far that we've seen from hReds and from Lin Chipping. What is the key for hReds here, especially coming off of a loss in their last game?
They're gonna have to try to play their game. We saw them do that in the last series. And it's gonna be so much harder against Lin Chipping, because I think Lin Chipping does what hReds do as well. They're able to dictate the pace. They're able to get a good attack going. And I think where hReds' strengths comes from is the same place that Lin Chipping's strengths comes from. So it's almost a mirror match in that way. Whoever's able to dictate the pace will have a massive advantage. And so it might be quite difficult for hReds to be able to feel comfortable. We'll have to see if they start to feel like the game's slipping away from them in their control. Will they get desperate? Will they break mentally? And those are things to look out for, because it's no secret you're going to get up against the defending champ. And while several players from your team were champions in the Pro League, you could argue it's quite a step up for the champions of the Elite League.
Just a tiny step up. You gotta, it's weird because of the perspective. You feel like you gotta just tilt your head a little bit, but a step up indeed. I'll be intrigued to see what hReds do, though. Of course, we know they're a physical team. Discipline's going to be a factor. Is it going to be defense first for them? Sin, as always, I want to put you on the hot seat, as we are just moments away from the beginning of this home and home series, again, between hReds and the defending champions in Lin Chipping. Our unnamed experts gave his opinion on this matchup. Now, in the last series, he expected a sweep for hReds. He was incorrect, predicting a sweep for Lin Chipping. Will he get this one right?
Well, it's going to be tough. You'd think that it could happen, but I mean, if a game goes to overtime or if it's close by that one goal, all it takes is a bounce. So I do think Lin Chipping has the distinct advantage. A 2-0 is definitely possible, but do not be surprised if hReds is able to steal a game. If they steal 2 and get the 2-0 against Lin Chipping, I think that's going to be the talk of esports sixes for a while. I mean, that is quite the coup if hReds is able to pull that out.
Again, despite being champions, Lin Chipping, cardiac kids a little bit in the SHL season, or they won the SHL as well, the ESHL, but in the ECL Elite playoffs, of course, in the final, they did find themselves down 3-1 to Havu Gaming before they were able to come back. So in terms of this, this aura of invincibility, they are beatable. They are, but very tough to keep this team down when it matters most. The problem that hReds might have is they take every game seriously. I don't believe that Lin Chipping take a day off, and especially now when you have that confidence of being champions, you're already off to a pretty good start. It is tough to see them falling short here, but this is a big time moment, the proving ground here for hReds, as we talked about with Temu and with Nicky Dangles, the experience in the Elite Division last season. They know what to expect from this game. We'll see whether or not hReds are able to kind of rise to the occasion and walk away with the victory here. Of course, time will ultimately tell. Before we get this series underway, though, quick shout out to our sponsors with Ice Esports and Prisma Gaming. Of course, if you're following us on Twitch, make sure to drop us a follow. Feel free to also check out NHLgamer.com for all the information that you need for all 4 tiers of the ECL system, the NACL, the North American side as well. You'll see action this Sunday night. Sin and I should be right here with you along for that action as well. Of course, NHL Gamer on Twitter, Instagram, pretty much everywhere. Support us, please. We greatly appreciate it when you do. Even if you don't, you're still here, so you're still kind of supporting us, so we are appreciative of that as well. Sin. How you feeling, though? Are you feeling? I know you said you're feeling good.
Hyped. Yeah, I'm hyped.
How hyped?
It's been a while since we saw Lin Chipping. The last time we saw them, we just about lost our minds with their incredible comeback against Havu. And I'm sure somewhere out there, Havu's ears are burning, and they are so eager to look for their revenge and stop being mentioned in the terms of a 3-1 comeback. But, sometimes that motivates you as a club. I mean, when you have that underneath you, that's a fire. And they know I'd be pretty rare to see them make that mistake again. And as you mentioned, Lin Chipping kind of takes every single game seriously. And I think that's great. And I don't, since they didn't kind of walk through the league last year, I don't think there's going to be any complacency. So yeah, hReds, they're going to have to be on their A game at all times, because Lin Chipping, they don't take breaks.
Absolutely. Again, to the boys at Havu Gaming, I'm sorry. I feel like we do bring you guys up a lot, and it's a shame that it's under such negative circumstances because of what a talented team you happen to be. Will not be surprised, of course, if we see you back in the finals this season here again. ECL Elite Season 10. Sin, we are moments away, at least we hope, from the start of this series. Of course, just making sure everything is good on the technical side of things. Don't want to have to take any more breaks on you at all. We're trying to make the best of this opportunity. So, Sin, again, as we get a look at the standings here heading into today, we got to cover eVaskala's first 4 games of the season. Impressively done. But all in all, you see there, KOVA, a little bit updated, still waiting the results of that second game that they were able to play. But of course, Lin Chipping, Havu, up there. Still quite a few undefeated teams, as you would expect, through the early stages. But excited, of course, to see how this season goes. I mean, even when it comes to the newly promoted teams like Ghetto Firebirds, we saw a lot of, no pun intended, fire from them in terms of the challenge that they were able to put up against Yip as well. So very intrigued to see how this season plays out. You talk about the new additions to the Elite League. No real surprise to see them being competitive. Hell, Vesapampa lost in the pro finals, still found themselves with the promotion. They already have a win under their belts.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty big to come into an Elite League and get a win in your first day or so of grinding it out in the season. But yeah, the big surprise for me is Yip eVaskala, because, I mean, while looking 4-0, we did say 3 of those games went to overtime, but it takes a lot to be able to win in overtime. It's not just bounces and stuff. So I'm very intrigued to watch them throughout the course of the season, trying to be, one of the more top teams up there, really establish themselves and be a mainstay here as we take another look at the goaltenders there. Kape, we have all the faith in your world. Wonderful, wonderful human being. One of my favorite guys to talk to. I mean, he is just an absolute sweetheart, and I have all the faith in the world he's gonna, bounce back and get up to those numbers that I'm sure he wants to be at.
The beautiful face of ECL Elite Season 10. Of course, very intrigued to see how this goes down again. This upcoming season, this upcoming series is going to be very dependent on his ability to bounce back. And again, we will see if he's able to do so. We are just about ready to go. hReds and the defending champions in Lin Chipping. They win a lot, and we'll see if they are able to do the same. Sin, I'm ready. The champs are in action. The champs are back, looking to stay undefeated on the season. In possession around the point, Potzloff there as well. You see the defenseman, of course, not unwilling to pinch. Jade Toro in possession, takes the shot. Ultimately can't find the back of that. We know Toro, again, not afraid to let that wrist shot go. hReds back in possession, and we'll see what they're able to do here on this first rush. They try to feed it up the middle. Doesn't find its way through. Again, we'll do our best to cover which member of hReds is in possession of the puck. So you'll have to excuse us for some incorrect names as this puck goes off the back of the net, recovered. And we'll see what happens here on the rush. Chance again, broken up. Potzloff back in possession. And again, now Lin Chipping on the early rush.
Yeah, and it's looking like they haven't really missed a step. They're free flowing there. When a defenseman steps up, a forward steps back. When two forwards are forechecking, there's a third one back, and they just seem to be in lockstep here early on. And it's kind of what you expect from the defending champs.
From the defending, definitely not Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah,
It's all good, buddy. We're both gonna make that mistake, and it's fine. But who's to say? Who's to say? Although as a Bruins fan, I still don't like to talk about the Stanley Cup, so let's not ever. Thank you. Except for 2011. We could talk about that. In 1972. Oh, God.
Ooh, penalty
as
coming up.
we will see Lin Chipping go to the power play here early, as it's going to be Yonzo going to the box. Big opportunity here for Lin Chipping to strike early. hReds, again, we talked about it. Their discipline has to be on point. So far, it hasn't. Set play here from the looks of it. Jay Toro steps in, shoots it just wide of the post. Recovered, though, by Loimu. Now back down again to Playmaker. Tries the short side. Can't get it, and the puck is cleared all the way down.
Yeah, I believe the pass was initially looking for the one-timer, but Playmaker not quite squared up for it, and instead of taking perhaps a bad shot, just kind of held on to it.
The opportunity now. Playmaker down the half wall finds Toro again. Quick bit of passing. Eki tries to get in front. Opportunity for Potzloff on the doorstep. Can't find a way to tuck it home, and the puck is cleared. 30 seconds to go here on the Lin Chipping power play. Their first opportunity of the game, and you have to hope for hReds as they clear the puck again that it's really the only opportunity. Again, discipline going to be a factor, but a great job on the kill for hReds. Perhaps a bit of a confidence booster. Opportunity here, though, stepping up as Loimu, recovered by Playmaker. Around the back of the net, looking for the pass. Tried to find Eki on the short side, just couldn't hit him. Loimu pinching, tries to get it back to Potzloff for the one-timer from the center at the blue line. Doesn't quite happen that way. You can see right now, Lin Chipping still applying pressure through the neutral zone. Big spin move, but offside with 8:08 remaining in the first period.
Yeah, and hReds, they haven't looked out of place so far. I mean, Lin Chipping for right now getting the majority of the chances. Obviously, with a power play, it's going to seem a bit skewed. But yeah, as you said, you killed off the first one. Let that be the only one, because if you keep giving Lin Chipping too many chances, they will punish you. So hReds, surprisingly, it was a trip. You know, you'd maybe expect a charge or a boarding, some form of hitting penalty from those defensemen. But either way, Eki entering the zone.
Half ball, back to the point. It's Jay Toro again. Potzloff working it around the zone. Playmaker. Back to Eki in the corner, and again back down low. Waiting. You know what's coming. It's just, can you stop it? The full trap from hReds to prevent it, and they're back in control. Opportunity on the breakout here. Can they find a little bit of space and try to find some form of an offensive foothold, which they've been unable to do thus far. Lin Chipping keeping up on the back foot. A little bit of space here. Again, now back to the point. Shot on. Deflects wide through the traffic. Now again back to the point. hReds not afraid to throw shots on from the defenseman. The opportunity again. Bit of patience. Shot on. Tries it from an angle. And a stop there from Kape. Again, the first real opportunity of this game for hReds. So they're back in possession in their defensive zone.
Yeah, definitely not afraid to use their defensemen in all areas of the ice, and that's really what you need to do.
Opportunity here. I believe Nicky Dangle's down that right-hand side. Back to the point again for hReds. Chance tries to throw it in front. Both wingers there helping protect the middle. Final minute of play here in this first period. Again, the first game of two of a home-and-home series between our defending champions, Lin Chipping, currently in possession, against hReds 1-1 through the first two games. Opportunity for Playmaker. Can't get the shot off. 3 seconds on the clock. And that will do it for the opening 20 minutes of play. So perhaps as expected, Lin Chipping, firmly in possession of this game, but strategically waiting for those prime opportunities. And it's just a matter of whether or not hReds can shut them down and stop it. And thus far, they've been able to.
Yeah, and but then you kind of have to start thinking of, they're almost in a position that KOVA was in last game, where you're almost surviving instead of being proactive and trying to create, some offense of your own. It's been very hard for them to get into the zone. The one time they got it in the zone, we saw about 3 or 4 passes between the red and blue line of them just able to get into the zone. And then even when they got into it, the puck carrier was immediately collapsed upon and being forced to make a decision with it. So Lin Chipping doing a tremendous job thus far, controlling the play, and I think it's as we see right there, I mean, I'm going to say nerves getting a bit better of him, but a bit of miscommunication right there as the puck goes all the way back.
See whether or not that continues to be a factor as this game plays on. hReds trying to find a way into the zone. They ultimately do. Pass in front, shooting opportunity denied by the back check. But hReds still in possession. Loimo battling, trying to get it back. And he does. Playmaker looking to lead the charge. Eki now in possession. On the off wing. Drops back. Shot on from Loimo. Doesn't quite get there. And Kape is able... Not Kape, I wish. Nike able to make the save. You know, it's often that you find Kape just to be on the minds and on the brain. Sometimes you just can't help it.
Oh, you can't. I mean, such a wonderful guy right there. Such a talented goaltender. I mean, you can't help but just be thinking about him anytime he is in the game. Right here is a big hit right there from Loimo.
Dropping the bomb. Eki, a little bit of space. Shot on. Is blocked from the looks of it. Don't think that found its way over to Nike. The opportunity here on the rush. Loose puck recovered. Dish back to the point. Quick D to D passes. And again, shot on. Easily blocked down by Eki. Perhaps a little bit of miscommunication between the two defenders. Not knowing who was going to take the shot. But they do recover here. hReds trying to make something happen over the blue line. Nice pass to find a little bit of space. Will we see the shot? Pass option. Shot comes through. Puck still loose in front. Kape able to stand tall. Lin Chipping able to recover. Very, very interesting pass. Great vision on display there along the blue line, son.
Oh, yeah, and it was almost slightly disastrous. Eki kind of read the play, but just a split second too late.
Chance here for Potzloff as he battles, unable to hold on to it. The hReds defense holding on for dear life. But looking solid in doing so. Back pressure from Playmaker. He wins it back. Eki was there to help. Playmaker back to the point. Toro has it. Loimo now again. Lin Chipping working it around, looking for that space. Eki back to the point, and again, you see the Lin Chipping cycle in play, but unable right now to find the space that they want. Loimo has it. Looks to cut back. Shot on. Saved by Nike. And now again, hReds in control of the puck, but desperate just to find a way to get somewhat of a clean breakout. Again, still struggling to find that offensive consistency. They have it in the zone here. Again, pass over to the defender. Working it down to the corner. Double team from the right-hand player's opportunity. Shot thrown on. Blocked. Loimo picks it up, and again, now here comes the counterattack. Eki unable to find Playmaker. 8 minutes remain here in the second period of this first game between our defending champions in Lin Chipping against hReds. And right now, hReds in possession off of a steal. Opportunity trying to develop. Shot on. Blocked again in front. Both teams trying to utilize that same strategy. We'll see again another shot blocked. However, a power play chance coming up for hReds. It's an interference call. Not quite sure who's going to the box here. Can't see the numbers. And it is going to be, I believe that's Ekison going to the box. So a huge chance here for hReds.
Yeah, big chance right there. I didn't quite see the penalty happen, but it must have been along towards that right side boards when he went up to pressure the point guys as they were cycling it around. But either way, big opportunity here from hReds to get some momentum going and maybe even take a lead.
Absolutely. We'll see if they're able to do so. The opportunity here, a little bit of space, dish it back to the point. Trying to get that low cycle going as so many teams do. Opportunity on a second chance after a near turnover. Tries to dish it back to the point. And again, the miscommunication there cost them some valuable time. Just 40 seconds remaining on this power play. Lin Chipping going to try to hold off long enough to get back to even strength. Opportunity here. Will we see the shot? Quick pass. Big save by Kape and quickly cleared out. Nike plays it. Gets that quick counterattack going as we're back to even strength. Eki fresh out of the box. Big hit there from Loimo. Joins the rush foot race, and he's unable to win it. So hReds, an unfortunate opportunity to see that go to waste. But right now, still looking pretty good. An offensive zone draw here could still find a way to capitalize on this momentum.
Definitely. Patslov has been great in the circle thus far. Gets yet another win, giving his team a chance to break it out, though. A little bit of a missed pass right there by Loimo.
hReds back in possession. Eki wins it, taps it over to Playmaker, and back again. Eki bursts to speed through the zone. Pass over to Playmaker! And just like that, Sin, that's all it takes. You give these wingers that many opportunities, you make that many mistakes, and eventually they'll make you pay for it. Eki finds Playmaker, and the champs are up by 1.
And that's what we had to look for there. Just the pressure from Lin Chipping, and then the mistakes kind of coming from hReds when they're not able to, sort of dictate the pace of play and they feel themselves against the ropes. They start kind of pressing a bit, and those mistakes can quickly turn into offense. We saw it right there. Eki flying down the right wing side, threading the needle through to Playmaker, who buries it 1-0 for Lin Chipping.
Playmaker, third highest goal scoring total in the league last season with 34 in 30 games. Finds another one here. And again, another quick opportunity. But hReds able to hold on for the moment. Again, we talked about it. They really wanted that double over KOVA there. They weren't able to find it. And unfortunately now, again, because you have to stare down the challenge of the defending champions. And Eki back in possession, looks for the windmill. But a good poke check there by Teemu. Keep that chance from Chile developing. Teemu again looking to lead the rush. Trouble at the blue line. So many double teams. Eki, a little bit of space. Playmakers with them. Finds Playmaker again, who buries it. No problems from this winger duo, as you would expect. Just when you think they might be struggling to find the space that they're looking for, change up the tactics and the strategy a little bit, Sin. No problem at all. Playmaker has a second of the period.
Yeah, he had everyone fooled, including myself. I saw Loimu coming in, joining the rush, was super open, and Eki almost looked like, I don't know how you look someone off here in a video game, but he did that somehow, just with his posturing with his player, his stick positioning, and even fooled hReds defense, who took that step a bit towards to cover Loimu, and that was just the space he needed to send it through to Playmaker in the middle, who buries it once again. Eki just tremendous vision, tremendous awareness, and perfect timing on that play on the rush to help give his team a 2-0 lead.
Right at the death, the Lin Chipping snatch away a second goal. I was going to say snag away a goal, but really, you can't snag away a goal from a team because that would indicate hReds were about to have a goal themselves. But unfortunately, this game has gone down exactly as we expected. Lin Chipping in control, hReds on the back foot, on the ropes, and unfortunately, Sim, for the reasons you mentioned, just could not hold on defensively. The space was there, and you give that much space to Eki and Playmaker to work, they're going to make you pay for it.
Yeah, and it's more of a credit to Eki and Playmaker than it is, sort of a negative for hReds. I mean, their defense was pretty much as good as you can get. I mean, they're keeping pace for the most part with Lin Chipping, but I mean, you don't need much space when you're Playmaker and Eki. They just seem to almost create just that little tiny bit that they need, and it was, again, hReds defended as best as they can, but the skill level from Lin Chipping just almost seems insurmountable at times. What is not insurmountable right now, though, is the scoreboard. hReds, they get a quick one, they're right back in it, they can build off that, and then, maybe you just get a bounce. That's sometimes all you need. I think if they could force overtime here, it can go either way, but it starts with getting that one goal.
Perhaps the key, Benito stepping up and winning a few more draws, and he does win the opening draw here. Patzloff dominating the faceoffs thus far. You can get those extra bit of offensive opportunities out of a one faceoff. It might just be what you need to get yourselves back into this game. A little bit of miscommunication between Playmaker and Patzloff. hReds back in possession. Perhaps a little bit of miscommunicating themselves. Playmaker back in possession. Loimu now carries it into the zone. Defenseman stepping up, feeds it in front. Playmaker nearly had an opportunity there to throw one on net. Unable to do so. Chance here, the big spin to maintain possession for hReds. Down in the corner, and quickly back to the point. Shot on, in through the traffic. Somehow finds its way to Kape, but he's able to make the save. Keep this a 2-0 lead for Lin Chipping.
Yeah, again, sometimes you're not too sure how these pucks make it through all of those bodies, but it's a good thing that Kape was right there, and probably thanking his lucky stars a bit that there was no deflection or change of direction with that shot.
Absolutely. Again, puck in the neutral zone. hReds able to maintain possession, working it now. Bit of opportunity. Sauces it across and finds his way through. Kape somehow not able to get to the post and hold it. Yuki's able to bury it from that angle. And just like that, hReds back in the game. That was such a close call, Sin.
Sick pass. I mean, that was an absolutely sick pass from Benito right there. The sauce, it's always a thing of beauty, and it feels so satisfying when you're able to manually sauce a backdoor feed like that to get the tap in, and Yuki did just that, getting that by Kappa there on that left-hand side, and again, coming on the attack, they're right back in it.
hReds in possession, shot on from the point through the traffic, not able to get it on net this time, though. Yuki with the goal that finds hReds back to within striking distance. It's a one-goal game. Big move there. A little Playmaker back in help on defense there. Looks to find Eki. Still holding on to it. Loimu has it. Slap shot on. Great block there. Couldn't tell who that was. Presumably Benito. Consistently helping out his defense, as this one will go down for icing with 13-21 on the board. Excellent vision on displayed. or on display. And again, somehow Yuki is able to find space in the tightest of windows to make this a 1-goal game as Lin Chipping come up with the puck. Playmaker, the try on the short side somehow does not go in. Biggest save of the game for Nikkei thus far, Sin.
Definitely. It doesn't look especially dangerous, but those in tight opportunities right there, especially with how the goaltenders can play. There's not too much space there, but the 5-hole could be open as well as the short side. A trip, however, and Lin Chipping will be going back to the power play.
Playmaker able to draw that one off of the quick move directly off of the face-off. Yuki scores. Yuki goes to the box. Not what he would have looked for to try and continue the momentum. Big opportunity for Lin Chipping here to get that goal back and to reestablish that 2-goal lead. Again, we talked about it. hReds, the discipline's such a big factor for them, and a big face-off win there from Benito. Just what he needed, but the pressure from Lin Chipping is on. Puck not cleared out. J. Toro able to pick it off. Finds his way to Potzloff. Again, the D getting involved. Opportunity on the near post just doesn't come to fruition for Loimu. Again, a mad scramble in front. And if I'm not mistaken, Loimu on the jump was the one who was able to find the space and tuck this one in. Indeed, he is. The defenseman was aggressive throughout that entire power play. And unfortunately for Yuki, Sin, you get the goal, but now you're the GOAT. You take the penalty that sees your team right back down by 2.
Yep, Yuki giveth, Yuki taketh away, and just like that, Lin Chipping back on top with a 2-goal advantage, and that was just a really good job right there from Loimu. I mean, super aggressive and just hungry on the puck. All 4 of the guys down low, 3 forwards and the defenseman just taking whacks at the puck, recovering the puck down low, and hReds couldn't get out of the zone. They had 2 opportunities to get clears, and Lin Chipping just forcing the issue, making the hits, forcing the turnovers, and then cutting the dump off at the boards. I mean, all of those factors contributed to that goal right there. A great team effort.
A bold strategy, but when you're on the man advantage, opportunity there for Playmaker. The pass just a little bit off. But again, a bold strategy to try and break down a heavy collapse is just send more people at the defense than they can handle. When you're on the power play, that opportunity is there. Again, good bit of defense there from Toro. The opportunity. Try and keep that possession alive. Taken away. Playmaker now. Burst of speed. Great puck protection. Finds Eki. Shot on. Big save from Nikkei there. Again, now hReds on the counterattack. Unable to find the pass. Secondary opportunity here. As somehow Kape is able to keep that one out. The opportunity, though, still here for hReds on this possession. Chance. Shot. Broken up. Secondary shot. Not sure if that found its way to Kape, but Toro was able to pick it up. Here comes Potzloff. Finds Playmaker. Tries to go short side. Test the short side. Unable to find it, though. Nikkei was there. The opportunity, again, not there. Nikkei standing tall, trying to keep this a 2-goal game despite some pressure. And again, this one just offside. Ever so dangerous with Playmaker and Eki, though.
Yeah, the aggression that they're providing on the forecheck is really putting hReds on the rope. As we see a pause going down, might be a timeout being taken. If anything, it'll be for hReds. They've got to try to collect themselves because that aggression is really starting to mount up. And even though that was an offsides right there, had it been a bit better timed, Playmaker and Eki would once again have a 2-on-1 situation. And well, when they've had those, they've pretty much buried them. So fortunate play right there for hReds to not let the game slip away, and they're doing a good job keeping it as even as they can. The numbers look good, but the eye test, it really just seems like Lin Chipping is almost dominating.
3-3 on the draws thus far through the period. hReds able to get the advantage. 6.5 to go. You're not out of it. Crazier things have happened. The game's involving Lin Chipping or not. One-timer from the point, doesn't quite go. Blocked. Toro shot, never saw Nikkei there. Did not get through. hReds, here we go. Bit of an opportunity on the rush. Can they make the most of it? Dumped in. We'll see if they're able to pressure. There's going to be a penalty here, though. hReds going to the power play. It's going to be a slash. And from the looks of it, it's J. Toro going to the box. Indeed, it is. The left defenseman for Lin Chipping will take a seat. And Sin, if there was an opening, here it is. hReds have to score here.
Must-score situation. Oh, man, unfortunately, Benito just not able to win these face-offs when he wants, and a chance for a stretch pass right there. Well read.
hReds offside on this one, though, on the follow-up. Playmaker that close to having that space that he desires on the rush. Is not able to get it there. We'll go back to the draw. Big chance again for Benito for hReds. And unfortunately, not able to come up with it. They are in the aftermath, though. Playmaker not able to step away. hReds the opportunity. Defended well by Loimu. and Potzloff has it, and will send it down, but Playmaker's giving chase. This play is developing. The chop across, though. Excellent defense. hReds back in possession. 50 seconds to go here on the man advantage. You need shots, maybe not even quality. But at this point, you got to look to throw anything you can. Loimu, the pickoff. hReds, though, recover. Again, being pressured. Eki in possession. Shoots it off of Potzloff, who has it again. That's dumped down. And Sin, we will be back to even strength with under 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, that was an incredibly aggressive play by Loimu, but it was a perfect read. It's pretty rare you see a defenseman jumping up on the penalty kill to force a turnover at the blue line.
Opportunity for Playmaker here. Tries to find Potzloff across. Picked off well. Sent all the way down. This will go perhaps for icing. Picked off. The opportunity the defense gave up as the puck died. Good chance for hReds. That, however, is going to be a trip. It is no longer NHL 19 with the left bumper meta. That is going to be Yanzu going to the box. And can't necessarily blame him for attempting it to try and cut off a pass, especially in dire times like this. But Yanzu to the box. Lin Chipping to the power play with under a minute to go. Currently up by 2 and seemingly just moments away from walking away with a victory in this first game of 2.
And it's a real-time minute as a one-timer.
Big save. Puck is still loose. Playmaker able to dish it back to the point. Loimu now to Toro. And again, just working it around. Valuable seconds ticking off the clock. One-timer. Big save on Loimu. Secondary opportunity. It finds its way to Eki. And he taps it into the open goal. Lin Chipping strike on the power play yet again. It's Eki. Who else as the wingers? Playmaker and Eki have done the damage here today in this first game. Lin Chipping make them pay yet again for the lack of discipline, Sin.
And we talked about it. Discipline was going to be a factor. What sort of factor was it presenting? They killed off that first penalty, and we said you can't take any more. They've took more. 2 power play goals for Lin Chipping. They're just so good at adjusting to the penalty kill strategies in defense of the other teams. And from the last one, getting aggressive, sending all those bodies down low, to that one, just back and forth, spreading out hReds, and then getting that one-timer. I mean, it's like, it's clinical, and it's like clockwork for this team. So good in all zones.
Final 35 seconds. hReds looking for another goal, perhaps a bit of a momentum builder heading into this second game. Eki finds Playmaker. Toro stepping up into the play opportunity, and he buries it. Unbelievable finish on the glove side of Nike. Insult to injury. Everybody getting involved. I believe Potzloff and Kape are the only 2 without a goal for Lin Chipping. But the other defenseman, the lefty for Lin Chipping, able to step up. Jay Toro buries it. And again, that is a heartbreaker. Look at the entire defense just hanging off of his back. But Toro still finds a way to bury it.
Yeah, and that is sort of a crack-me-up situation. The left defenseman in the dying moments of the third period says, hey, wait a second, don't forget about me, I want to get on the scoreboard, and puts the team on his back. Not the team you'd expect his own, but the entire defense of hReds right there, and kind of pulls his way through and puts the shot on and beats Nike. Lin Chipping will be taking this game 5-1 most likely.
Final 5 there. Late chance for Playmaker. Doesn't develop. The champs win another one. Sin, it was our biggest talking point. hReds needing to stay disciplined, needing to stay out of the box. They could not do so. They could not withstand the pressure from Lin Chipping, and the champs made them pay for it.
Yeah, and it was the first period looked relatively even, you know? Good penalty kill from hReds. They got some chances. They had some offensive zone time, but as that game wore on, Lin Chipping just continued to take control, and we kind of started to see hReds sort of lose, I wouldn't say lose their composure, but sort of lose their precision. Their passes started to be off, their timing was off, and they just weren't in a position that they were comfortable with, and that's why Lin Chipping is so good. They will take you out of their comfort zone. And
one of the more interesting experiences, not to cut you off there, Sim, one of the more interesting experiences that the 2 of us had or have had so far, but particularly for last season, was the interviews that we were able to do with Eki and with Kape in the aftermath of their phenomenal win. Again, sorry, Habu, I apologize. But, you know, the moments where they talked about, like, okay, we're down 3-1, they continue to show that, you know, they are very much followers of practice what you preach, because they told us in the aftermath of that victory, winning the league, that, you know, composure is the big thing for them. They don't get down on themselves. Okay, second period, we haven't put up 3 or 4 goals yet. It's fine. Keep it up. Keep going. Those goals will come. And that's exactly what we saw in that game. I mean, again, you might start to worry a little bit if you're, another team and you're like, oh, God, we haven't gotten the goals that we're expected to get yet. The other team's going to be feeling confident. I don't think Lin Chipping let that get to them at all, though.
No. I mean, they're a team that simply does not lose their cool, and they don't alter their game for anyone. It doesn't matter what situation, and that's the mark of a champion, is when you play your game to such a high level that you can play in any situation and feel comfortable. And I did like the fact you brought up, our talks with them, and when we were able to kind of have an interview after their series, and I asked Eki, I'm like, do you try to get your defense involved, and was that like something that you wanted to do to get more offense? And he says, no, if they step up, someone steps back. They're such a good team. They have so much chemistry together that no matter, what happens, they cover for each other and they work as a unit, and it's on display right there. And while in this case, it was more so the wingers really getting the job done, Jay Toro and Loimu, big impact players there on the back end as well.
Again, Loimu last season, 23 points in 30 games. That was 5th highest amongst defensemen, but he's also a physical threat. And I think, Sin, it really does attest to the teamwork, as you mentioned. I mean, again, the willingness to let the defense get involved, just constantly covering, being safe, letting everybody get involved, just really kind of basing the play on what develops, which in terms of a talking point for us, being able to say, oh, what's the key factor for Lin Chipping in this upcoming game? It's more of the same. There aren't really too many adjustments, if any, you'd think that they'd be focused on making, aside from maybe not giving hReds the opportunities on the power play.
Yeah, I mean, you probably want to clean that up. I mean, they're a bit of, and when you're that good, you have to be a perfectionist at some point. So I'm sure they're talking a few things over. Let's stay out of the box. Maybe a couple times where Jay Toro got caught up too far up the ice, or some other situation that they're perfecting. Perhaps we didn't even see because they're on such, a high level of play. But yeah, for the most part, keep doing what you're doing. They let the game come to them, and that gives them the ability to dictate the pace. It's really almost a work of art when it comes to Sixes esports. And hReds, while they looked good in the beginning, we saw, their mental kind of capacity start to wear down at the end there. And as, towards the end, especially in the dying seconds, a couple guys, diving, maybe getting a bit of that frustration out. And game 2, they got their work cut out for them for sure, because expect more of the same from Lin Chipping.
So in terms of the keys for hReds heading in to this second game, again, if you were to say, oh, you're 2-1 so far, they'd be like, oh, that's pretty good. Unfortunately for them, they're 1-2, and they might be a little bit more rattled than expected, not exactly where they wanted to be. For me, the key is simple, and it starts on the draws. Benito did a much better job towards the back half of that first game, but I really do think it starts, with the faceoffs, because Lin Chipping so dominant in terms of puck possession. I think really that is the key for them, is hReds, you need to be able to get the possession as much as possible, and it really does start with the faceoffs. With him, what stands out for you? Is it a difference with forwards? What is the key for them in terms of finding a way to battle back here? I mean, obviously defensively, you might want to look to tighten up a little bit, but ultimately, the offense only put up 1 goal, and again, we've seen the offense struggle perhaps a little bit more than we expected so far this afternoon, this evening. Call it what you will.
Yeah, and I think as it kind of wore on, we saw hReds sort of continue to struggle to put up the goals. They started off pretty well, getting a 2-1 victory. Then they get shut out in overtime, 1-0. And, that's got to kind of affect them. And again, Lin Chipping's great at puck possession, but as we mentioned in the beginning, hReds are really a good, their game is puck possession. And as you mentioned, when Benito's not winning those draws, when you can't get those offensive zone draws to establish it, that's one, big chance that you're missing out for some offensive zone pressure, for some puck possession. They had the time on attack, but they didn't really threaten as much as they should have with it. So I think they're going to need to take a few more shots here, and maybe, look to win a few more draws if they can, to really sort of establish themselves. They're going to have to probably outpossess Lin Chipping to stand a chance, and that's going to be hard to do.
That is easier said than done. There's a lot of analogies we could make to, really kind of compare. But, I think that statement really just kind of stands for itself. Outpossess Lin Chipping. No disrespect to hReds. But, in terms of how great they're going to be this season, we'll find out. But what we do know for sure is that great teams have tried and great teams have failed. So we'll see just how hReds are able to stack up. As you see, the updated point totals now for Eki and Playmaker. Playmaker, 6 goals in the 3 games. Eki, though, 12 points in 3 games as well. And of course, we called him out. Patslaf up there as well. That triple threat is something to behold soon.
Yeah, and again, as we mentioned, he's kind of like the guy you almost, sort of bring up at the end after you're done talking about Eki and Playmaker. And I think, unfortunately for him, it's such an understatement to his skill level. I mean, again, we didn't get to talk about him too much, but he was doing all those little things that you need your center to do, starting with the faceoffs, again with the defense, forcing the play, a big part on the power play, helping to drop back, covering on the, when the defense jumped up, which it's quite often between J Toro and Loimu. They love to activate, and it's just a constant ebb and flow with their players moving around to the empty space. It's really great to watch. And yeah, as you mentioned, Eki up there, 12 points in 3 games played. 4 points per game is pretty good. Pretty good. Now, before we skip off of the screen, I do want to point out Nicky Dangles here, right? Again, probably the key player for this team. Again, 3rd in the Elite Division last year in Season 9 in points with 70. A little bit more of a playmaker than a goal scorer. He had 44 assists out of those 70 points, but he still had 26 goals in 30 games last year, yet to open the goal-scoring account. And again, I think that's kind of the key. Offensively, we know what this team is capable of. Yes, you do want to talk about the majority of this team being together in Pro Division last year as members of Delusion. But Pro Division, we've seen it. Those teams that have come up, they're not slouches. There's not this drastic difference in some cases between elite level teams and pro level teams. And I kind of think that's the key here. I don't know what's not clicking thus far, but Nicky Dangles out of those 3 forwards was the one that came over from a different club. And I don't know if right now it's just a matter of not exactly finding the chemistry with his forward, brethren or not. But him not having a goal yet is pretty surprising to me. Yeah, definitely. And I think that just, he's maybe looking to set up all the time. That's his play style. But I think maybe perhaps now at this time, your team hasn't scored many goals in the last couple games or even all today. I mean, 3 goals total, I believe, in 3 games. That's not the average you want. So he's going to have to, I think, step out of his comfort zone a bit and maybe look to put the puck on net first. And, ask questions later. Just, go for those low shots. Try to get Kappa moving around in that crease. Force him to chase a rebound. Force him to slide. Go behind the net. But again, that all comes down to you need to possess the puck to do all these things, which can be very difficult. So it seems as though everything we suggest that hReds can do, Lin Chipping has a counter for. So again, they have their work cut out for them. But I definitely I see the potential in this team. They could take it, and they can. They can compete with these high-level teams, definitely. I mean, Absolutely. They walked over Pro Division, which, as you mentioned, no slouch.
Exactly. I mean, again, you look at the stats for Yuki, the left wing of hReds, 66 goals in 30 games last year in Tier 2, the Pro Division, 45.5% shooting percentage. We are waiting to see that, really start to present itself, and we'll see whether or not it does. We are ready for Game 2. Again, our final game of this broadcast. We hope you are ready. I know Sin and I are ready, and we will see how this plays out. The defending champions, Lin Chipping, on home ice, and we'll see what they are able to do. If you're excited for this game, number 1, let me know in chat on Twitch. Secondly, follow the channel if you haven't. If you have followed the channel, good. We can be friends.
Unfollow and follow again. No.
maybe don't do that because you might forget somehow. It's a long trip to hit that follow button on occasion. Sin, let's do this. Our final game of the evening. Here we go. Lin Chipping in blue, hReds in white. And we'll see how this one plays out. Again, hReds absolutely looking to find that offensive form. And a shout out to the graphic side of things. We do have the colors. So again, Yanzu in possession, still at the point. See what he's able to do. Benito tries to feed it down low. Opportunity again. Puck still down low. Nearly finds its way in. Kape able to cover. Sin, that might have been the goal that hReds needed to really find some momentum. Just a quick goal out of nowhere.
Yeah, a bounce is sometimes all you need to really get that first one and put yourself in an advantageous situation. But Kape very alertly kind of stays calm and covers that puck up, but just sitting there, right there in the crease between his legs.
Right there in the crease. The opportunity here now for the defending champs, Lin Chipping. Yes, we will mention it as much as possible because it deserves to be mentioned. Playmaker in possession, sends it down low for Eki. Looks to go for the wrap attempt. Puck poked away at the last moment. And Yuki will take his time, feed it back to his defenseman. Again, that quick bit of puck movement. hReds looking good on the breakout here. And then one pass misfires. This will go down for icing. Big opportunity here again. My key to this game for hReds. Benito needs to win draws. Big defensive zone draw here. We'll see what he's able to do. Can he get the win over Potsloff? He can. Clean victory there. And again, that is the key. hReds, Sen, I know you agree, have to make the most of every opportunity in every possession.
Definitely, and we're kind of seeing still some miscues on the passes as we just saw with the icing, but they're able to gain the zone now.
Opportunity shot on from Yuki, and flashing the leather is Kappa. Not tested all that much in that first game, but a spectacular save there with a little bit of flair, a little bit of finesse. Now an offensive zone draw. Can hReds take advantage here? As unfortunately, no. Potsloff the win and a quick exit sin. Lightning quick. Opportunity for playmaker. Down for Reki. Will he look for the wrap? Tried to feed it back to the point. Broken up there by Yanzu. Teemu moves it over to Nicky Dangles as he continues to fight for it. Nearly lost it. Excellent forechecking pressure. 3 men perfectly covering the sideboards for the exit pass, and that was picture perfect.
Yeah, and hReds. Oh!
Opportunity as the puck sneaks in front. Still a little bit loose. A little bit of a lag spike there on our end at least, but again, a near call. Another very close call for hReds, but they, unfortunately, then again, still cannot seem to find the back of the net on the majority of these chances as Eki picks this one up, but it is offside. Huge chance again there for hReds, though, Sin.
Yeah, and it's just these bounces coming to fruition, which is a good thing for them because right now, as I mentioned, their passing, their timing is just still a little bit off. They're missing some passes. Some icings are happening as the puck rolls by their goaltender right there pretty dangerously. And he's going to have to cover that puck up as we are getting a bit of spikes and such here. But
trying to make the best of it, but Nick A, of course, was able to make the play. Not afraid to work with the puck, as we have seen before. Again, we will get back to you, and we are back as soon as possible. Trying to make the best of this. Unfortunately, we can pretty much confirm, some errors on the Twitch side of things. Be able to jump over to the backup stream, though, and again, we apologize for the lack of colors. Again, we will try to give hReds as much proper credit as we possibly can. Loimu in possession, not able to find the pass. Let's see what we're able to get here from this hReds attack, whether or not they're able to make the most of it. They gain the zone, quick pass, find space, tries to dish it back to the point. hReds having to rely on perhaps one more pass than they would prefer to make to try and make the most of these opportunities, and just because of how consistent Lin Chipping are in their defensive structure.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a double-edged sword right now for hReds. They feel the need to sort of slow their game down and get a bit more deliberate with it so that they can maintain control. But the problem with that is Lin Chipping feeds off that. They are aggressive. They love it. Okay, yeah, allow us to get back in position, and then we can attack you in waves and force these turnovers, and that's what they're doing here. But hReds gains the zone.
A little bit of possession. Puck now back in the corner, back to the point. D to D, shot on, picked off by Potsloff. Never saw the net. Opportunity for Reki, trying to find space. And ultimately, it is still Lin Chipping in possession. Puck thrown in front. And again, now picked up again by Potsloff. We'll say again as many times in this series. Well, Eki now over to Loimu. Feel the need to say again as many times because we often see Lin Chipping dominate the offensive zone with the passes, and we often see the defense step up just like that. Loimu steps up, takes the shot, and buries it. Sin, perhaps that is the difference between Lin Chipping and everyone else, is their defenseman's ability, their willingness to shoot the puck and pick corners.
I am so glad you brought that up so I didn't have to and sound like a broken record. But yes, that is why, as a defenseman, you get that puck into the high slot, let it rip. You have a lane, let it rip. You never know what can happen. Rebound or you snipe it, and Loimu buries it right there to put his team on top 1-0 here late in the first period.
As we approach the final minute of play, again, perhaps a back-breaking goal for hReds. Doing well to hold on, but again, You can only hold on for so long when you have to beat, it's essentially like a boxing match. I mean, if you have to fight off the back foot for the entire time, it can be so difficult to withstand the attack. And ultimately, for hReds, they were unable to hold on as this one goes down for icing. Shout out to my boy Snoop joining us on commentary. You love to see it. You never know who's going to show up and support the ECL. Again, you may be able to find Snoop's profile on NHLGamer.com. Check out the rest of the site while you're there. Of course, drop us a follow on Twitch. And, check us out on Instagram and Twitter for all the good stuff to stay up to date. Sin, if you can quickly converse with Snoop, your opinions on that first period is, again, the boxing analogy, like I mentioned, can be very, very difficult to battle off the back foot for the entire time, like we've seen hReds have to do.
Yeah, for Shizzle, you said it exactly right. Very hard to be fighting off the back foot, and that just seems what hReds is doing the entire time. They're kind of chasing the game, and Lin Chipping almost like just not I wouldn't say robotic, because obviously they play with that emotion, they play with that fire, but they're so in sync with each other. It's almost like a hive mind situation. I mean, they are just so incredibly good, and you don't really see too many miscommunications.
I'm still trying to catch my breath.
Good. I'm glad I was able to make you laugh and lose it.
Boy.
I'm gonna step up here and do some play-by-play while you're
I tried to maintain that professional kind of, attitude as much as I could. The opportunity here on the side of the net, but you know what? You got me with that one, partner. Well done. Lin Chipping on the counter here. Jay Toro stepping up as he so often does. Sauces it over. Playmaker the chance. Potzloff as well, but unable to get solid contact off of that pass. We will hopefully look to check in with Snoop Dogg as we continue on here throughout the second period. Puck now in the corner for hReds, quickly turned over to Playmaker. Now again, Potzloff and Eki continuing to pressure the puck carriers. Opportunity on the pass in front. Kape makes the save. Secondary chance. Puck still alive and in a dangerous area, but now it's Playmaker was able to come up with it. Here comes that counterattack, but quickly picked off. I believe that was Yanzu who was able to make the play, loses it back to Eki, though. Playmaker, the move. A little bit of space between the legs. He buries it. The unbelievable finish, the disrespect, the confidence. Playmaker with a highlight reel goal for the ages. Lin Chipping double the lead.
What? It's a 1-goal game, and he pulls the rabbit out of the hat. Playmaker, you are disgusting. What else can you say? That's it. That's my analysis. Playmaker, you are absolutely filthy.
I am not a man of few words. What did we just witness there? My God. Unbelievable stuff. All I can say is we will just continue on here, jokes and laughing about Snoop Dogg aside. That was one of the... If you see highlight reel plays, that is one that you will see over and over again. Opportunity for hReds doesn't come to fruition. Playmaker perhaps making a statement there as this one goes offside. Sin, I am still just stunned.
That takes some guts, and I mean, Playmaker, he is an incredibly good player, as we were just speaking about just how good this team is. They decide, to up their swagger level.
Playmaker the chance here. Would you say, as Lin Chipping are going to go to the power play here, would you say supreme confidence, perhaps a championship level confidence, as Yuki is going to go to the box, and a chance now for Lin Chipping to perhaps put this game out of reach as we approach the halfway point of regulation. Opportunity for Potzloff on the doorstep. Not able to get there. Loimu, quick D-to-D pass, opportunity. Now Playmaker looking for space, tried to shovel that towards goal. It was broken up well by Teemu. Potzloff tries to get the pass over, still in possession. Quick passing! Phenomenally done! Jay Toro able to find the pass in front, and it's Playmaker again the power play goal, and Lin Chipping now up by 3 and running away with this, Sin.
Yeah, and just that is, again, once again, phenomenal team play, but I really got to point out the defense on that one. As that play went on, they slowly started creeping in, slowly getting lower and lower and lower. They got into an umbrella right there, and that opened up the pass to Jay Toro, who then fed it back to the middle to Playmaker, and they were as one right there. They were collapsing towards the middle and just slowly, like a circle of wolves, closing in on their prey, and they bury it 3-0, and they are in complete control right here, and that's why you cannot take penalties against this team.
If you wanted to either draw it up on a whiteboard or make a quick instructional video on how to pull off an umbrella-style power play, that's it.
Yeah,
that was picture perfect. You cannot do that any better. You need the defense with the ability to do so. Playmaker tests Nikkei on the short side there. Was able to come up with the save. Just putting on a show. Our Lin Chipping here. Shot on as Toro looked to pick the corner. Nikkei looks to play it out. Opportunity for Eki, not able to bury it. Frustration or just perhaps desperation for Nikkei to try and see his offense get something going. Playmaker finds Eki, and he somehow finds the space on the short side. Lin Chipping proving why they are champions, showcasing it in every aspect of the game. What a phenomenal performance.
Yeah, and whether it was desperation or a bit of frustration, either way, it came back to bite Nikkei right there in the butt. He plays the puck out in a situation that you normally wouldn't, and I'm sure probably he normally wouldn't, but that's what a team like Lin Chipping can do to you. They take you out of your game, they take you out of your head, or maybe even further into your head, and you're just overthinking it and trying to get something going, and as of right now, it's going in the wrong direction for hRed.
One way or another, Lin Chipping put on a show. hReds playing for pride at this point. Quick D-to-D pass, Teemu in possession, the shot on. Blocked, never saw Kape. Again, on the other opportunity here, Janzu with the puck. Quick D-to-D passes, feeds it back down low. Again, the opportunity doesn't quite go. Opportunity here, Benito was battling for it in front. Lin Chipping back on the attack. Eki still in possession. Again, now Loimu finds Playmaker around the back. Looking for space. Tried to find Eki, still has it. Loose puck in front. Eki just can't get a hold of it. hReds back in possession. 4 minutes to go here in the second period. Lin Chipping running away with it. Playmaker showcasing why he is one of the top players, not just in the European scene, but in the world right now when it comes to competitive sixes. Loimu, the opportunity to Eki. Puck on, still loose. And a secondary opportunity just doesn't develop. Nikkei holding on for dear life at this point. And again, one back. Potzloff to Eki. Feeds it back to Potzloff. A big glove save. Played out again by Nikkei. 1.5 minutes to go. And hReds right now can't even find their way into the zone with consistency. Despite having the numbers, big hit there from Potzloff. 40 seconds to go. Another big hit there on defense by Playmaker. And we'll see if there's one more rush from Lin Chipping. Potzloff in possession. Big spin. Still has it. Pass over. Tap in. Doesn't go. Played out again. And that'll kill the clock. Sin. Lin Chipping. You want to talk about a championship hangover. No signs of it whatsoever.
If this is their championship hangover, I don't want to see what they're going to be like when they're firing on all cylinders, because if I'm looking at this, it can't get much better. But if they have another gear, this league needs to watch out. The world needs to take notice. They are just putting on a clinic right here. And again, they're not facing a bad team by any means. hReds very capable, very good, and just being thoroughly outplayed right now, outpossessed. And as you saw at the end, Nikkei there just wanting to get out of the period. I don't want to say he wants to get out of the game right there, but it's getting to that point with a 4-goal lead. We've seen massive comebacks, but in this situation, hReds, it just seems against a team like Lin Chipping, that is such a tough hill to climb. But maybe if they get a couple bounces, you never know here in the third period. But again, they're going to have to sort of reset at this point. As you said, they're playing for pride. I would say no pressure now. You know, you get what do you have to lose? Throw everything at them. Go crazy. You know, a W. They're
Phenomenal.
Why does everyone do that when I'm making a point here? Completely making me crack up right there on the as we see a close up of Playmaker's face as he goes for that ridiculous between the legs tuck.
I think the biggest issue right now, if you are hReds here, is that in a situation like this, you might want to try to rely on Lin Chipping, trying to put on a show, maybe add insult to injury. But the problem is they're going to play for Kappa, and there's no way that, I'm not going to say the word, but they're playing for one person right now. And, we might see them turtle up a little bit more defensively to try and make good things happen. Because obviously, if you're hReds, there's one thing you want to do right now. Just get one. We'll see whether or not they're able to do so. 2 minutes gone quickly here in this period. What a move from Jay Toro. Self-sauce, gets it to Eki. Tries the quick tap. Doesn't quite go through. Dishes it back to the point. Toro again. Gets Eki, and now again back and forth passing here. Loimu has it, and right now Lin Chipping just waiting, biding their time. Chance for Eki. Tried to pick the top post there. Top corner. Just not able to get it. Now hReds back in possession.
And about 4 minutes, almost 5 now off the clock, and it really hasn't gone into Lin Chipping's zone for an extended period of time. They are completely taking up where they left off here. And look at them, hounds.
Pressuring Loimu, has it, finds his man, and what can you really do when you're being double-teamed in your own zone? That ridiculous amount of pressure. Who else in? Playmaker has another one.
Another one. And Loimu there, just absolutely beauty. I mean, you're up by 4, and still you're hungry. Still you want the puck. Still you're forcing the turnovers, and still you have something to prove. You want to score more, and Lin Chipping, just, again, they've already kind of ran away with it. There's just adding on to their lead at this point. Maybe a bit of stat padding, but at the same time, this is a team that doesn't quit no matter the score. We've seen it before when they're down. Now we're seeing it when they're up, and it is scary.
Playmaker with the hat trick. A phenomenal team effort, a phenomenal individual effort. 5-0. The score here again. hReds expected to be a playoff team, certainly a competitive team. I know the goal for them, is certainly to be considered a top 4, top 5 team in this league. But Lin Chipping right now showing them upon their return, despite them essentially, absorbing delusion. Right now, new banner or not, Lin Chipping doesn't care. They are the standard in this league. And, every once in a while, a reality check might just be what a team needs to really get going. So we'll see what happens here in the aftermath. Lin Chipping continuing to dominate. Loimu, the bomb from the point. It finds its way through. Sin, this is getting to a very depressing state. Unbelievable. Just pure domination. What a shot from Loimu.
Yeah, it's a bit of a welcome to the Elite League for those members who came from Delusion on hRed. I mean, you walked through the Pro League. This is a different beast, and you're seeing it now from the champs. This is what it takes to be champs. You have to play near perfect to the best of your abilities at all times, no matter the score on the board. And I think this is going to be a good lesson for hReds. And as you said, maybe a bit of a wake-up call for them to realize, okay, this is the real deal. We've got some work to do, gentlemen. Let's get to it.
We've seen some spectacular offensively oriented defensemen in this league, but I don't want to call them coy, but for lack of a better term, just the stealthiness almost of Toro and Loimu, and perhaps it is because of the threats that they have, in terms of their forward core, but you have to treat all 5 members of this unit with respect offensively, or they will make you pay for it. It has been an absolutely phenomenal performance. We're only halfway through the period, and Lin Chipping will be going back to the power play. It's going to be a slashing call here. Not quite sure who it's on yet. We'll see once the camera cuts, and I believe that is going to be Yuki, and it is yet again. We talked about the disciplinary issues, and it's continuing to be an issue, or perhaps just the discipline issues, but perhaps some disciplinary issues from Yuki from the powers that be. because unfortunately his aggressiveness has backfired in a lot of ways through these 2 games.
Yeah, and don't look for Lin Chipping to just kind of cycle it around and kill some time. I mean, that might be what some teams would do in this situation, but I think Lin Chipping wants another one. They are still hungry.
Call it head games, call it unnecessary, call it what you will. But absolutely, at a level like this, you get a chance to put up another goal, you're going to do it. As long as, I mean, hey, offensively, where do you want the puck? You want the puck in their zone and not yours. That means scoring another goal, then so be it. Toro steps in. Pass it back. Thought he was going to look to take the shot. Loimu finds Patzlaff. Loimu, the shot doesn't go through, but he recovers possession. Toro again looking for space, working this power play through their defenseman at this point. Shot on from Playmaker. Nick able to make the save. Opportunity on a bouncing puck. hReds still in possession as we are back to even strength. They survive. I don't know perhaps if that was Lin Chipping's most aggressive power play in the world, but regardless, hReds did well to stand up and make the kill. As they have possession here, we'll see. Can they get the one? Slap shot is blocked. Eki in possession. Drops it back for Loimu. Now again, Patzlaff. You see the quick passing. Just knowing where their teammates are going to be. Still battling for it. Loimu somehow comes up with it and leads the rush. Self-sauces to try and generate some space. Ends up losing it. But a spectacular individual effort from Loimu. You know, I got to be honest. If Loimu ever decides, or Toro for that matter, they want a new challenge, if a club could manage to sign them away and play them at forward, I think they do spectacularly. As the shot's on, Kape makes the save. A rare occasion where the Lin Chipping goaltender was called upon.
Yeah, this is a team where, in my opinion, the only position that matters is center, because he's the one taking the faceoffs. Everything else is interchangeable, it seems like. They read each other so well that they're getting up and getting back and covering for each other that it really doesn't matter where they are on the ice.
Timer from the point and a big block. Not to cut you off there, Kape. I don't believe it's tested on that one. Another opportunity quickly taken away. Patzlaff finds Eki. 3-on-1 developing. Missed pass back in front. And just like that, Eki has another goal. Sin. hReds clearly going all out to try and get the goal. End up with a 3-on-1 rush the other way. Playmaker able to find Eki yet again. Call it insult to injury. Call it what you will. At the end of the day, it's another goal. Not much Nikkei could do. Never really got a save animation by not going manually butterfly.
Yeah, and that was almost a broken play right there for Lin Chipping. They didn't get the pass cleanly, but Playmaker was able to beat him to the puck down low, gets the one touch off to the slot, and guess who's right there perfectly in position? Eki buries another one, and 7-0 here for Lin Chipping as we enter the last minute of play. Absolutely clinical. What a show they're putting on.
I don't think we expected this. Eki with space, pass over, saved by Nikkei. As the defense looked to kind of give up a little bit in front of them. Again, tough to not be disheartened by a result like this. The problem is, in a moment like this, you got to play for your goaltender. Nikkei has done pretty much the best he can. Play for him. Try to not have it get that much more embarrassing with the extra goal. Pass attempt in front. Another chance here for Eki. Bit of space. Loimu's shot goes wide. Now again, Playmaker dishes it in front. hReds come up with it, but not for long. Loimu's shot picked off. So we approach 30 seconds left here in this game. Lin Chipping continuing their dominant ways. Playmaker in possession. Feeds it down low for Patzlaff. Intercepted, though. And now a chance again for hReds, but nothing doing on the breakout. Eki gets it back. Has the chance. Feeds it over. Doesn't find its way into the back of the net on this occasion. Final 12 seconds of play. The opportunity now. Eki in possession again. Busting out the windmill, sends it for Playmaker, tests Nikkei again, who plays it out. Another shot from Eki, and that will do it. Mercifully, it is over. Lin Chipping with as dominant of a performance as you will ever see. Phenomenally done by the champs.
Yeah, and I like what you mentioned before. You got to sort of, at the end there, even though it's getting bad, you got to keep playing for each other, and I think that's what Lin Chipping does so well. I believe on that last power play opportunity, they were looking for a certain someone to get on the scoreboard. They recognize that everyone is a huge part of this team. Everyone is a huge contributor, and they want that to be able to be reflected on the scoreboard when they can. And, you know, Lin Chipping, just a phenomenal performance. And again, I think hReds, despite sort of being, you know, I hate to use the word embarrassed, but you got blown out, in that last game, and arguably even in the first game you were dominated. So you have to look at it in some kind of positives if you can. You have to extrapolate some sort of lesson to take from this, and I think the biggest one is play for each other, because that's what Lin Chipping does, and it's so well. They do it throughout the entire game. You can see them. They don't care. Okay, defenseman, join the play. I'll cover you. That's fine. They understand the larger picture. It's a team sport. Everyone benefits if they get the W. Everyone, no matter what, and they want, at a point, at the end of the game they're trying to get certain people points, and of course playing really well back there for Kape in between the pipes, trying to get him that shutout, which he does, and that'll improve his numbers for this year.
At the end of the day, we are here to entertain. I'm not making light of anything, but kids, you might be home from school. It does not mean that you cannot get an English lesson from Sin here, whether or not he's extrapolating or interpolating. There's always something to learn. So Sin, I do thank you very much for that.
Shout out to my mom, English teacher. She taught me everything.
Fantastic. Ultimately, again, we could sit here and talk about Lin Chipping all day long. And again, this was a classic performance from them. If you are not familiar with the ECL, if you are not familiar with why this Lin Chipping squad are held in such high regard, you learn today. It wasn't the best performance today or tonight for hReds. Again, going 1-3, they would have hoped for a 2-2 split at the worst. They were probably hoping for at least a 3-1, if not a 4-0. And are they capable of, getting that 3-1 split out of 4 games against teams of this caliber? I would say yes. This was a legitimate shock to see hReds perform. I don't want to say this poorly, but I think even they themselves will say, okay, tough competition, but what was up with the lack of goal scoring? We have some things to figure out. Obviously, if you're Lin Chipping, there's nothing to really figure out. It was business as usual. And as mentioned, down the stretch, they played for Kape. And again, the best defense, good offense. They dominated the puck. Kape gets a shutout, one of the easier shutouts I think he would have throughout this season, if I had to make that presumption. But again, we talked about it throughout the entire game, Sin. I mean, the 5 skaters for this team, the versatility, the ability for all of them to be dangerous offensively at any given time, it was on full display today.
Oh yeah, and what I was towards the end there in that third period, I started playing a game in my head. I'm like, guess who's joining the rush? It was someone different. That third man was different every single time. Sometimes it was Patslav joining the rush. Other times it's Jay Toro. Other times it's Loimu. And it's, Eki back covering for them. And I think Eki doesn't get enough credit for his defense. He is absolutely phenomenal. I think when you were mentioning, you could put Loimu on the forward end. I would love to see, in a casual setting, Loimu and Eki kind of switch, go from right wing to right D, because I think they'll look, still as phenomenal as they did today. Just complete versatility from everyone.
I do not disagree. So again, to our defending champions, Lin Chipping, a job well done. A fantastic performance all around. Playmaker, though, in particular, scoring one of the highlight reel goals, perhaps not just of this season, but throughout the ECL in general, in the history of this league. Again, our 10th season here. Of course, a quick shout out, though, NHLgamer.com for all the information that you need. We'll give you some more plugs at the end of the stream. For hReds, again, not the night that you wanted. 1 for 3. Unfortunately, Sin, we brought the bad luck. Out of the 3 games that we were able to cover, technical difficulties aside for that first game, it was all downhill from there. Again, a very talented team. A couple of new additions, mainly with Nicky Dangles on the wing, but again, just not the performance that we expected to see from them tonight.
Yeah, I think, they got their work cut out for it, and I'm sure they know that. I'm sure they're right now talking about it. They're going to be able to put this behind them and kind of come out on top, and that's why they probably wanted in that first series to get that second game that ended in overtime in a loss for them, a 1-0 loss in overtime. That hurts with such a high-powered offense. So I think we're going to really see, a lot of emphasis on them trying to find that goal-scoring touch, because when you look at the numbers, they need to be an offensive team. They're a puck possession offensive team. They need to play to their strengths, and they unfortunately weren't able to do that today.
Absolutely. So with that, again, congratulations again to Lin Chipping. Looking forward to seeing what hReds are able to do now moving forward. Look forward to seeing how that plays out. Look forward to seeing how the rest of this ECL season play is out again. The Elite Division was covered today. One of 4 tiers through the ECL system. 196 teams involved, in particular in the Elite Division, fighting for the largest prize pool ever seen through competitive sixes esports. And again, we are both very, very proud to be a part of it. We thank you for joining us tonight, today, wherever you may be from. We thank you so much for supporting us on this venture. If you're watching on Twitch, of course, drop the channel follow if you haven't already to be alerted as to when we are covering whatever, whether it be one of the 4 tiers in the ECL, whether it be the North American side of things, which will be back this Sunday. All the information that you need is on NHLgamer.com. You can also find us on Twitter, on Instagram, and in all the normal spots. Sin, any parting words for tonight? What a set of games we were able to cover.
You know, I'm just glad ECL hockey is back. I'm glad to be calling it with you once again, my friend. Wouldn't have it any other way. And let's all work together. Make sixes the dominant esport of the NHL. It is the most exciting. Not biased or anything. That's just fact.
As it deserves to be. It's amazing what can come together when people put in just that little bit of work that they can do as an individual to make something like this come together. A quick shout out to Snoop Dogg as well. Thank you for joining us tonight. Greatly appreciated. We are honored. You can find Sin on Twitter, as you see on screen, at Sin for the Win Prod, Sin for the Win Productions on the YouTube side of things, and on Twitch. If I'm not mistaken, there might be a comeback there at some point. Very, very soon.
I might have to. I want to play some ESHL again. I'm getting inspired.
Fair enough. You can find me everywhere. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Discord, Tugi24. Look forward to seeing some of you around. We thank you very much for joining us again. NHLgamer.com for all the information for when you can find us next. A shout out, of course, to our sponsors as well, Ice Esports and Prisma Gaming. We will see you all very, very soon. Stay safe. For the love of God, stay safe. And we will see you again very, very soon. Catch you next time.